Good morning all. Today I am going to discuss the JEE Advanced Paper 1 of Chemistry, half course test 3. My name is Vipul Duggal. I am a chemistry faculty at Aakash Invictus. So let's start the discussion. So it is a very first section that contains 4 questions and all of them are single correct options. Let's start. So question number 20, very first question of chemistry. The mass of any substance deposited or liberated at the electrode during the electrolysis depends on the theoretical question you can see here. Quantity of current passed through the solution, time during the which the current passed, mass of the electrode and nature of the electrolyte. So this question is based on the first law of Faraday. Now what is the first law of Faraday? That is the W equal to ZIT. So we know that the mass of any substance depends on the quantity of current passed through the quantity of current and the time during the which the current is passed. Mass of the electrode, it does not depend on the mass of the electrode. Mass of any substance deposited at any electrode does not depend on the mass of the electrode. And the nature of electrolyte, it does not depend on the nature of electrolyte. The correct options would be option C, first and second. So very basic question you can see. Let's move on to the next question and let's check the answer of this question. The answer given is option C. The next question is, which of the following is not a transition element? So we know about the definition of transition element. Transition elements have partially filled d orbitals. Partially filled d orbital, or you can say d subshell. So partially filled d orbital or d subshells in the transition element, that is the basic definition of the transition element, in their normal oxidation state or in the ground state. So we know that which are not the transition elements: zinc, cadmium and mercury. These are not the transition elements because in these case the d orbital is fully filled in their common oxidation state and in their ground state. So option C is correct. Manganese, Fe and copper will be considered as the transition elements. Let's check the answer of this question. The answer given to this question is option C, that is the cadmium. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 22, which acid radical produce only SO2 gas, only SO2 gas when treated with the dilute H2SO4? This question is based on the qualitative analysis, that is the acidic radicals. So we know that which anion can produce only the SO2 gas, that is the sulfite ion. So sulfite ion, when treated with the H+, it produces SO2 gas only. This is the option A. Single correct. S2 minus gives H2S. SO42 minus कोई gas produce नहीं करता, it does not produce any gas. It is confirmed on the basis of the precipitation reaction. And S2O3 minus, O32 minus, that gives SO2 gas along with the sulfur. And the question is asking about only SO2 gas, which produce only SO2 gas, that is the sulfite ion. Let's check the answer to this question. The option A is given. Question number 23, that is the liquid solution question. Let's read the question. The vapor pressure of pure liquid A is 520 mmHg and that of the pure liquid B is 1000 mmHg. And if a mixture solution of A and B boils at 80 degrees Celsius and 1 atm pressure, the amount of A in the mixture, we have to calculate the amount of A in the mixture. That means total pressure is given at 1 atm. At 1 atm, it is asking about the amount of A present in the mixture. So we can simply use the Raoult's law here. So what is the Raoult's law? So Raoult's law is total pressure is equal to P naught A, XA, P naught B XB. Okay. XA and XB are the mole fraction of A and B in the liquid phase. So we have given that total pressure 1 atm, that is 760 mm, and P naught A is 520 into XA, okay, plus P naught B is given 1000.1 minus XA, as the mole fraction sum is always equal to 1. From here you can calculate the value of the XA. The value of the XA would be 520 XA plus 1000 minus 1000 XA is 760. So after calculation you will get XA is 240 divided by 480, 240 divided by 520 plus minus 1000 is 480, that is equal to 0.5. And it is asking about the amount of A. We have calculated the mole fraction of A in the mixture, and the answer given is in the percentage. So we can simply say if XA is 0.5, that means 50% A is present and 50% B is present. So 50 mole percent you can say. So multiply it by 100, you will get your answer. Let's check the answer to this question, and it is given 50 mole percent. Let's move on to the next question. Now it is the next section that contains 3 questions. All of them have numerical type answers up to 2 decimal places. So very first question is the question stem, that is the comprehension based. Chemical reactions involving the interaction of atoms and molecules, and large number of atoms, molecules are present in the few grams of any chemical compound. Now this is question based on the electrochemical reaction. You can study here electrochemistry on the basis of Faraday's law. So let's read the main point of the paragraph. A 4 molar aqueous solution of NaCl is prepared and 500 ml of this solution is electrolyzed. And this leads to the evolution of chlorine gas. That means electrolysis of NaCl is done here, and question is telling about this leads to the evolution of chlorine gas here at one of the electrode. So we'll have to do the electrolysis of NaCl. So moles of NaCl given is molarity into the volume. Volume I am converting it into the liter. So how many moles of NaCl is, that are the 2 mole. So 2 moles of NaCl is given to you. Now NaCl aqueous is electrolysis is done. So if it is 2 mole, it will provide 2 moles of Na plus and 2 moles of Cl minus. Now what is the first question? From the given data we have written these things, okay. Now first question is total number of moles of chlorine gas evolved. Now at anode, what will happen at anode? Cl minus will get oxidized. How the Cl minus will get oxidized? It will convert into the Cl2 gas. Cl minus is converting into Cl2 gas. This is the balanced chemical reaction. So we have been given the 2 moles of Cl minus, so it will produce 1 mole of Cl2. 2 moles of Cl minus is given to us. According to this given data, we can say Cl2 ke moles, how many moles of Cl2 will be produced? That is the 1 mole. Okay. The total number of moles of chlorine gas would be 1. Let's check the answer. The answer given to this question is 1. Let's move on to the next question of question stem. If the cathode is a mercury electrode, the maximum weight of amalgam formed from this solution. Okay. So generally water is reduced when we do the aqueous solution of NaCl electrolysis, water is reduced. But in this case, a mercury electrode is used as a cathode. So at cathode, what will happen? At cathode, Na plus will be reduced as Na solid. As a cathode electrode is mercury, so solid Na will dissolve in the mercury and will form the sodium mercury alloy amalgam that we say. It will dissolve and it will form sodium mercury. That is the amalgam. And we have to find out the maximum weight of amalgam. Now you know that it will combine in the ratio of 1:1. If 1 mole of sodium will react with the 1 mole of liquid mercury. Now how many moles of sodium will be produced? So we have been given moles of Na plus would be equal to moles of Na, that will be equal to 2 moles. So you can say that 2 moles of sodium solid will react with 2 moles of mercury. So it will produce 2 moles of this compound. So 2 moles of sodium mercury alloy. Now it is asking about the maximum weight. Weight we can calculate. Maximum weight would be equal to weight of sodium plus weight of mercury. 2 moles ka weight 2 into 23 plus 2 into what is the mass of molecular mass of mercury. It is given to us, that is 200. So 46 plus 400 gram, that is 446 gram. Let's check the answer to this question. The answer given to this question is 446 gram. Let's move on to the next question. Next, again another question stem is given. A and B form nearly ideal solution at 300 Kelvin. P naught B is given to you and P naught A is given to you. A liquid mixture composed of 3 moles of each of A and B. What is asking? Let's see. If the pressure over the mixture at 300 Kelvin is reduced, at what pressure in mmHg does the first vapor form? First vapor, when the first vapor will form, what is the pressure then? So we can simply calculate. We have been given that moles of A equal to moles of B, that is 3. And what would be the XA and XB? XA and XB, what would be? 3 by 6, that is equal to half. So we can simply use the formula, Raoult's law, PT equal to P naught AXA plus P naught B XB. Because at this pressure initially, it is talking about the initial, when first vapor is formed. Or you can say when first drop of liquid will convert it into the vaporize. So at this pressure, the total pressure, when the total pressure PT, when first drop of liquid is formed, XA and XB almost remain same, we can say. So P naught A is given to us, that is 100 into 1 by 2 plus 900 into 1 by 2. 50 plus 450, PT is 500 mmHg. At this pressure, you can say the first drop, first vapor will be formed. First drop of vapor will be formed. Let's check the answer to this question. Answer given is 500. Okay, what is the next question? The next question, 27, at what pressure half of the liquid vaporized? Half of the liquid vaporized. So what we can think about here? Let's say we have liquid mixture of A and B, and this liquid mixture is getting vaporized. And we have 3 moles of this, and we have 3 moles of this. Half of the liquid half of the mixture has been vaporized. That means in the vapor form, the moles of A and B would be equal to 3. Sum of the moles of A and B would be equal to 3. So what will happen after the vaporization? After the vaporization, we will have, let's say, A plus B, and here the vapors of A and B as well. These are the vapors of A and B. So you can simply say let's say X moles of A is present in the mixture after the vaporization of A and B. And how many moles of B will be there? That will be 3 minus X. As the total moles in the liquid mixture would be equal to 3. Okay. Now, in A, in the vapor phase, you can say 3 minus X moles of A is vaporized. And what will be the moles of B in the vapor phase? That will be equal to X. As the sum of moles in the vapor phase is 3. 3 minus X plus X is 3, and X minus 3X is 3. So we can simply use the Raoult's law here. Let's apply the Raoult's law and the Dalton's law. What is the Raoult's law? PA equal to P naught A XA. And according to Dalton's law, PA equal to YA dot PT. Okay. Similarly for the PB, it is P naught B XB and PB equal to YB dot PT. So this is the Raoult's and this is the Dalton's. Raoult's के according and Dalton's के according. We can equate both of them. So YA we would get P naught A XA by PT, and YB is P naught B XB divided by PT. And when we take ratio of both, YA upon YB is equal to P naught A P naught B XA over XB. Now we know that we know the moles in liquid phase and vapor phase of each component. Let's apply. In vapor phase, what is Y? You can simply calculate the YA. Y is 3 minus X upon 3. It is 3 minus X divided by 3. And YB is X upon 3. It is X. And what is P naught A and P naught B is given? Let's check. P naught B is 900 and P naught A is 100. So 100 over 900 dot XA is what? XA is X upon 3 total moles, and XB is 3 minus X upon 3. Let's solve this equation. 3 minus X square equal to 1 by 9 X square. You can simply calculate the X from here. And what is asking about the question? At what pressure half of the liquid is vaporized? So half of the liquid is vaporized, we have to calculate PT equal to P naught A XA plus P naught B XP. This we have to calculate. P naught A is 100 dot XA is, what is XA? X upon X divided by 3 plus P naught B is 900 dot XB is 3 minus X divided by 3. 3 minus X divided by 3. This equation you have to solve. And you can simply calculate the X from here. You can simply put X here. You will get your answer. Okay. Let's check the answer to this question. That is given to 300. Also, there is a short trick for this question. You can derive that formula. PT would be equal to P naught A, P naught B. And this is the short trick. 100 multiplied by 900, that is the 300. When half of the mixture is vaporized, then you can simply use this formula Pt equal to under root of P naught A P naught B. You can derive this formula from these equations. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question. Answer given to this question is 300. According to valence bond theory, the metal or ion complex under the influence of ligand, it is telling about the valence bond theory. Okay. Determine the spin only magnetic moment in the complex FeH2O5 NO2 positive. Now let's check the oxidation state of Fe here. What is the oxidation state of Fe? X plus 5 into 0. Here NO is in plus 1. Okay. Plus 1 equal to plus 2. That is X equal to plus 1. So Fe is in plus 1 oxidation state. And Fe, when it is in plus 1 oxidation state, what would be the configuration? 3d6 4s1. 3d6 4s1. But NO जोन सा है, NO is your strong ligand. So strong ligand does pairing of electron. The 4s electron will move into the 3d, and it is asking about to determine the spin only magnetic moment. So number of unpaired electron, n is equal to number of unpaired electron would be equal to 3. And what would be the magnetic moment? Under root of n plus 2 bm. That would be mu equal to under root of 15, that is 3.87 bm. Got it? What is the concept here? First, you must know about the charge on the NO, and you must know about the NO is the strong ligand. This is the concept used in the question, and answer given to this question is 3.87. What is the next question? Next question is how many unpaired electrons are present in the CrNH3 5 2 positive. So what is the oxidation of chromium here? X plus 5 into 0 equal to plus 2, that is X equal to plus 2. Chromium is in plus 2 oxidation state, and NH3, it is a trigonal bipyramidal geometry. It will have trigonal bipyramidal geometry. So Cr2 plus would be, what would be? Cr2 positive, 3d4. Cr is in ground state, 3d5 4s1, and 2 electrons are loose, so 3d4. And in trigonal bipyramidal geometry, how the splitting is done? Let me tell you. These are the dxz, dyz, dx square minus y square, and dxy, and higher energy is dz square. So when you fill the electrons in these orbitals, these are the splitting according to the CFSC in trigonal bipyramidal geometry. 1 electron, 1 electron, 1 electron, and 1 electron. And the hybridization would be, this d orbital would be used in the hybridization. You can say dsp3. So how many unpaired electrons are present? Unpaired electrons are present is 4. So answer to this question is 4. Okay. Last section, section 3. This contains 6 multiple choice question and one or more than one correct questions are given. When we have 100 ml of 0.1 molar KCl solution to make it 0.2 molar, what you will have to do? So we can use the equation M1V1 equal to M2V2. M1 is 0.1 dot 100 equal to 0.2 dot V2, and V2 calculate karoge to it would be 50 ml. So make it 0.2 molar. The volume of solution must be 50 ml. So let's check the options. Option A is evaporate 50 ml water. Yes, if we will evaporate the 50 ml water, so you will get 50 ml solutions will be left, and the 50 ml solution will be left, it will make the solution 0.2 molar. Evaporate 50 ml solution or 50 ml water, both are same thing, because obviously water will be evaporate. Add 0.1 mole and add 0.01 mole. So let's check how many moles should be added to the solution so that the solution becomes 0.2 molar. Okay, so keeping the volumes remains same. I am talking about the option C and D. Keeping the volume remains same. How many moles are given originally? Moles of KCl given originally 100 into 0.1, that is कितना हो जाएगा ये 10 moles divided by 1000, so divided by 1000, that is 0.01 moles. That are the millimoles basically, because the volume is given in ml. So to make it 0.2 molar, the volume should be remain same. So for the 0.2 molar, how many moles would be there? 0.2 into 100 divided by 1000 to make it 0.2 molar. The volume remains same, so it would be 0.02 moles. So to make it 0.2 molar, we would require 0.02 moles. Total moles should be 0.02. And how many moles we have available? We have available 0.01 moles. So if we will add 0.01 moles, another 0.01 moles, it will be equal to 0.02 moles. So when we will add 0.01 moles to the solution will become 0.2 molar. So when we add 0.01 mole KCl, the solution will be contain 0.02 moles and solution will become 0.2 molar. So this is the incorrect option. Let's check the answer to this question. The answer given is A, B, D. Select the correct statement. Potassium ferrocyanide and potassium ferricyanide can be differentiated by the following solid state magnetic moment. So what is potassium ferrocyanide? K4 Fe CN6, and here iron is in +2 oxidation state. And what is potassium ferricyanide? K3 Fe CN6, here iron is in a +3 state. So it can be differentiated by measuring the magnetic moment. Obviously the magnetic moment would be different because here it is in Fe2+ and here it is in Fe3+. So this option is correct. The complex this and this can be differentiated by adding aqueous solution of barium chloride. When we will add barium chloride to this solution, it will precipitate as BaSO4 and it will precipitate as BaBr2. Okay. So we can differentiate these complex by adding the barium chloride. The complex this and this can be differentiated by adding aqueous solution of silver nitrate. Yes, silver nitrate, when we will add silver nitrate to this solution, this complex, AgBr will be formed as yellow PPT, pale yellow. And when we add silver nitrate to this complex, AgCl, white PPT form will be there. So AgCl banega, either AgBr banega. So we can differentiate. The complex this and this can be differentiated by measuring molar conductance. So molar conductance is basically number of charge on the complex and number of the ions. So what is the charge on complex? +3, and here 1 cation and 3 anions would be present. Here +2, charge on complex के basis पे हमारा decide हो जाएगा और number of ions के basis पे decide हो जाएगा. तो these two will have different molar conductance. This will have more molar conductance. Okay. So option D is also correct. Let's check to answer to this question. Option A, B, C, D are given. Next question, question number 32. Which of the following statements are correct? Theoretical question again. Transition elements exhibit higher enthalpy of atomization as they have stronger interatomic interaction. तो enthalpy of atomization basically depends on the interatomic interactions. So transition elements, we know that it has higher enthalpy of atomization because they have stronger interatomic interaction. Why they have stronger interatomic interactions? Because there is the involvement of n-1d electrons plus ns electrons. D and S electrons are involved. We can say they have higher enthalpy of atomization. So option A is correct. I2 of vanadium, chromium and manganese and nickel, copper and zinc. I2 you have to check. So this is the question based on the electronic configuration. You know that chromium will have more ionization energy than the vanadium and manganese, I2. Because chromium, what is the configuration of chromium? Chromium is D5S1. 3d5 4s1. So when one electron is removed, s is 0 and the second electron would be very difficult to remove because chromium will be in the d5 configuration. Same here, if you talk about the copper, it would have 3d10 4s1. When first electron is removed from the 4s, the second electron, to remove the second electron it is very difficult because 3d10 is fully filled configuration. Okay. Similarly, you can check the Zn and the nickel. Zinc will have, zinc is 3d10 4s2. So zinc will have first ionization energy is very high, but the second is lower than the copper. Okay. Similarly, for the manganese, manganese have 3d5 4s2. So you can simply check first electron is manganese is difficult, but second electron can be easily removed as comparison to the chromium. So this option is correct. I2 we have checked on the basis of copper and chromium, on the basis of electronic configuration concept, we can simply answer. Option C is nickel 2 plus compounds are more stable than the platinum 2 plus, but platinum 4 plus compounds are more stable than the nickel 4 plus. So it is saying that nickel 2 plus is more stable than platinum 2 plus, but platinum 4 plus is more stable than nickel 2 plus. That is the stability order. So we can comment on this stability order on the basis of ionization energy. I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus I4 of nickel and I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus I4 of platinum. If platinum 4 compounds are more stable than nickel, so the sum of 4 ionization energy of platinum would be less than the sum of 4 ionization energy of nickel. But I1 plus I2 of nickel and I1 and I2, sum of I1 and I2 of platinum is greater. That is why platinum 2 plus is less stable than the nickel 2 plus. How we are deciding the sum of the ionization energy? It is decided on the basis of electronic configuration. When you will write the electronic configuration of both the atoms, you will get your answer. The concept behind the this part is the sum of the ionization energy. So this option is also correct. The elements which gives the greatest number of oxidation state does not occur in or near the middle of the series. We know very well, this is the theoretical part. Factual, key in the middle of the series in 3D transition elements, the oxidation state is higher, like manganese. Manganese have +7 oxidation state. Tungsten have +7, +8. Osmium has +8 oxidation state. In 4D and 5D series you can check. So this is the option. This option is incorrect. So A, B, C are correct options. Let's check the answer to this question. A, B, C is given. Which of the following, next question, question number 33, which of the following orders are correct for the property indicated in the brackets? So first is asking about the dipole moment. We can simply tell this because we know the structure, NH3, NF3 and BF3. BF3 has trigonal planar geometry, so its dipole moment is 0. And what about the dipole moment of NH3 and NF3? You can simply tell. Nitrogen is more electronegative, so direction of dipole moment would be towards nitrogen. And between lone pair and nitrogen, it would be towards lone pair, and net dipole moment will get add. But in case of NF3, direction would be towards NF3 and towards lone pair, and net would become after the subtraction. So dipole moment of NH3 is greater than NF3, then BF3 as least dipole moment. This option is correct. Chlorine, sulfur, oxygen, nitrogen, what is the electron affinity order here? So chlorine has the most electron gain enthalpy in the periodic table, we know that. Sulfur and oxygen, in the case of group 16, we know that oxygen and sulfur has the higher electron affinity to gain electron gain enthalpy of the sulfur is more than the electron gain enthalpy of the oxygen due to the smaller size. So small size and compact 2p subshell. Okay. And nitrogen has half filled configuration, so it will accept the electron very difficulty. So the order is chlorine, sulfur, oxygen and nitrogen, and even the nitrogen has positive electron gain enthalpy. Okay. Silicon, magnesium, aluminium, Na, first ionization energy. Silicon, we know that 3s2, 3p2, magnesium 3s2, aluminium is 3s2, 3p1, and sodium is S1. Okay. Sodium atomic number is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. So 3s1 configuration. Very easy to remove the electron from the sodium. Aluminium have 3s2, 3p1. Electron will be removed from the 3p. And magnesium, among magnesium and aluminium, both belongs to the same period. Okay, all elements belong to the same period. But along the period, we know that the ionization energy also depends on the Z effective. So magnesium will have more ionization energy than aluminium, because it is the electron removal will be from the 3s. Here the electron removal from the 3p. Easier to remove from the 3p. But in the silicon, you will say, okay, sir, electron will remove from the 3p, but it will have more Z effective. So it will have more ionization energy. This option is also correct. Option D is HClO4, HbRO4, Hi4, pK as values. We know that which is more acidic. ClO4 minus, BrO4 minus and IO4 minus. These are the conjugate base of these acids. So we know the stability of conjugate base here. The stability order is this. So what would be the acidic strength order? So acidic, so HClO4 will be more acidic. So if HClO4 will be more acidic, it will have lower pK, and the given is higher pK. So this is the incorrect option. Why it is more stable? Conjugate base on the basis of resonance, you can say कि 2p 2p overlapping. Here the 2p 3p overlapping, 2p 4p overlapping. Oxygen lone pair is going into the chlorine के 3p में जा रहे हैं, ठीक है, उधर 4p में जा रहे हैं, उधर 5p में जा रहे हैं. Now let's check the answer to this question. A, B, C are given. Question number 34. Lambda m infinity and lambda equivalent infinity are molar conductivity and equivalent conductivities दे रखी है आपको. And lambda is the ionic conductivity of ions at infinite dilution. Then for the potash alum, what is the formula of potash alum? K2SO4 dot Al2SO4 thrice dot 24H2O. And you know the N factor of valence factor of potash alum, that is the, due to the K2SO4 it would be 2, and due to the Al2SO4 thrice, charge on the aluminium is +3, and there are 2 aluminiums, 2 into 3 is 6. Here you can say charge on the potassium is +1, 2 into 1 is 2. Either you can check the charge on the cation or anion, and you can simply add, because these are the double salts, and the N factor would be 8. How can we write the lambda m infinity of potash alum, that is the molar conductivity at infinite dilution, that is the, if you will ionize the potash alum, it will ionize like this, 2K plus SO4 2 minus plus 2Al 3 plus 3 SO4 2 minus. So sum of ionic conductivity of all the ions is the, gives us molar conductivity at infinite dilution. So it would be 2 into this plus 2 into aluminium 3 plus 4 into, these are the 4 SO4 2 minus 7 ions are available. Yes. And lambda equivalent conductivity of potash alum is 1/8 of the lambda m infinity molar conductivity of potash alum. So what is the relation? Lambda E equivalent equal to lambda M equivalent, lambda M molar conductivity at infinite dilution divided by n factor. And you know the n factor is 8. So this expression is also true. Lambda equivalent infinity, that is the equivalent conductivity at infinite dilution, is, you can write this in the terms of the ionic conductivity. You can divide this by 8 because lambda m infinity divided by 8 gives us lambda infinity equivalent. If you will divide by 8, you will get your answer like this. So this is also a correct option. Lambda m infinity potash alum is this. This is incorrect. We have already checked. Let's check the answer to this question. The option given, answer given are A, B, C. Let's move on to the next question. When O2 is absorbed on a metallic surface, electron transfer occurs from metal to O2. The true statements regarding the absorption. Obviously, we know that O2, when O2 is absorbed on the metallic surface, and absorption is the exothermic process, heat will be released. So one option I can see here, option B, heat is released, very simple option. And would it be Physio's option? O2 is physio-absorbed. No, O2 is absorbed in the metallic surface, there can be a chemical reaction. So it would be a chemical adsorption. So option A is incorrect. And option C is, what about option C? Occupancy of pi star 2p of O2 is increased. Okay, we know that according to MOT, at last pi star 2px and pi star 2py is filled with one electron in each anti-bonding molecular orbital. When O2 is absorbed on the metallic surface, there will be a transfer of electron from the metal to O2, and that electron will go into the anti-bonding molecular orbital. That is the pi star 2px. So it is asking the occupancy of pi star 2p of O2 is increased. Yes, obviously it would be increased. And bond length of O2 is increased. When you will transfer the electron into anti-bonding orbital, the bond order will be decreased. The bond order would be decreased. We can say bond length would be increased. So option D is also correct. Let's check the answer to this question. B, C, D are given. Let's move on to the next question. Section 4. Next is section 4. It contains 3 integer based questions. Let's check. The very first question, you can see it is based on the electrolytic conductance. The conductance of 0.05 molar, 0.0015 molar aqueous solution of weak monobasic acid was determined by conductivity cell, and what is given? Distance you have given, and you have given area of cross section, and the conductance, that is the G. G is given to you. And the pH of the solution is 4, and the limiting molar conductivity of weak monobasic acid in the aqueous solution is this, and you have to calculate the value of Z. Okay, so this is the weak acid. Let's say for the weak acid, we can simply write C molar. If the concentration of weak acid is C molar, that we know that 0.0015. It is 0, at equilibrium. You can say this is C minus C alpha, and you have been given that pH equal to 4. So you can say ki H plus would be equal to 10⁻⁴ at pH equal, as pH equal to minus log H plus. So H plus is C alpha. Okay. Now we know the alpha. How can we calculate the alpha for the weak acid? According to the Kohlrausch law, application of Kohlrausch law, that is the molar conductivity at particular concentration to the over the molar conductivity at infinite dilution. That is the limiting value of the molar conductivity. This is the limiting value of the molar conductivity. From here you can see alpha is 10 raised to power minus 4 divided by C. And what is C? 0.0015. And what is lambda m? That is K into 1000 by m. And what is K? This is the conductivity. And lambda m infinity is given Z into 10 raised to power 2. Now let's try to calculate the K. K would be equal to G into L by A. And what is G? The conductance of solution is 5 into 10 raised to power minus 7. What is length? Length is 120. Area is 1. That is 600 into 10 raised to minus 7. That is 6 into 10 raised to minus 5. That is the conductivity. That is Simon centimeter inverse. You can simply put here 6 into 10 raised to minus 5 into 1000 by molarity is 0.015 divided by Z into 10 raised to power 2. From here you can calculate the Z. You will be calculating this equation, you will get answer is 6. Let's check the answer to this question. The answer given to this question is 6. Okay. Very simple calculation you can do here. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 37. How many electrons are present in the 2T2G orbital of Cr3 positive in this complex? So we can simply see that this is a high spin complex because fluorine F minus is weak ligand. F minus is weak ligand. So what is the oxidation of chromium here? Chromium is in +3 oxidation state. And what is the ground state configuration of chromium? 3d54s1. So chromium 3 plus would be D3. Chromium 3 plus would be D5, 4s1, 3d5, and 3 electrons will be removed. 1 from here, 2 from here. So D3 configuration. And in D3 configuration, you can say how the splitting will be occur in the case of octahedral complex. You know that splitting does like that. T2G and EG. All the electrons will be filled into the T2G as the F minus is weak ligand. Electron pairing does not occur here. So how many electrons is present in T2G? That is 3. Answer is 3. So yes, answer given to this question is 3. Let's move on to the next question. That is the last question of this paper. Leaching process is used to how many metals out of the following? What is the leaching process? To separate the soluble substance from the solid by dissolving in the liquid. So leaching process is a very theoretical part. It comes from the ores metallurgy part. We know that leaching process we can use for the silver, gold and aluminium. For these we cannot use the leaching process. We cannot separate the solid substance, soluble solid substance from these elements. From these elements, silver, gold and aluminium, we can use the leaching process. The answer is 3. The answer given to this question is 3. So this is about the paper 1 discussion of chemistry. I am going to invite the mathematics faculty to discuss the mathematics paper. Sunny sir, please discuss the mathematics paper.
How the chemistry part?
It was a little bit shorter paper. You can say it is an easier paper.
Okay.
So student must have good score in this paper.
Yeah. Let's see in mathematics part now.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Hello students. Today we are going to discuss the mathematics part of Invictus test series half course test. So I hope the paper was good for you. Okay. Yeah. Okay, now the first question is, if the vector A vector is this, makes equal angle theta with the vector B and C, and is perpendicular to a given vector D, then we have to find the value of cos square theta. Okay. Okay. In first question, there is a vector A which makes an angle theta with B and C and makes a 90-degree angle with a vector D. Then we have to find the value of cos square theta. Now, if A vector is making an angle theta with B and C, then we must say that A vector dot B vector divided by magnitude of A magnitude of B must be equal to A vector dot C vector divided by magnitude of A magnitude of C. We are equating cos theta from both the sides. So if we see A is given as xi cap, yj cap, zk cap. Yeah? So here magnitude of A is cancelled out, and in the numerator here we'll get x minus 2y plus 3z divided by magnitude of B. And now what is the magnitude of B? And that will be root of, I think, root of 14. This must be equal to A dot C. According to this, A dot C will be 2x plus 3y minus z. So 2x plus 3y minus z divided by, again, magnitude of C is root 14. So we'll get an equation in xyz. So from here, root 14 is cancelled out. We'll get x plus 5y minus 4z is equal to 0. We are taking all the terms in the right hand side. Similarly, we are given that A vector is perpendicular to D vector. So A dot D must be 0. So from here we can say that x minus y plus z must be 0. We are getting two equations in xyz, so we can calculate the ratios of xyz. Using simply we can write that x divided by this product minus this cross product 5 minus 4. So 1 is equal to y divided by, again you can see 1 minus minus 4, that means 5 with a minus sign, so it will be minus 5, and this will be equal to z divided by, I think this will be minus 1 minus 5, so minus 6. So we will be getting the ratios of xyz. Now simply we can put that this ratio is, say, lambda. So we are getting that x is equal to lambda, y is equal to minus 5 lambda, and z is equal to minus 6 lambda. We will get the values of x, y, z in terms of lambda. Now we have to find the value of cos square theta. So we know that A dot B, that is obviously magnitude A, magnitude B cos theta. So what is A dot B again? And that is x minus 2y plus 3z. This must be equal to magnitude A, that means root of x square plus y square plus z square. Magnitude of B, that means root of 14 into cos theta. From here we will get the value of cos theta in terms of xyz. And we will replace xyz in terms of lambda, and then we can directly get the value of cos theta, or we can get cos square theta. The answer will be 7 divided by 124. Yeah, this is the answer. Okay, next question. A be the set of all 3 cross 3 matrices M such that A belongs to M, where M is Aij 3 cross 3, and we have to pick Aij either minus 1 or 1. So given event E such that one of matrix chosen randomly from A is satisfying, that product of all the elements in any row or in any column must be minus 1. So if product of all the elements in a row or all the elements in a column is minus 1, so that and the entries are from 1 and minus 1. So that means we have taken odd number of negative signs. So there are 3 possibilities mainly, that either, say, let's say we do this question using the case of columns. Say all the columns have 3 negative signs. The first column contains 3 negative signs. Every column or every row must contains odd number of negative signs. Say first column, second column, third column, all the columns contain negative signs. Okay, so there will be only one possibility of such matrix. If we say that exactly two columns of this matrix contains all the 3 negative signs, will it be possible to make such a matrix? Let's say first 2 columns contains all the 3 entries as -1. So if we say that row must product of the entries of a row must be -1, so this must contain odd number of negative signs. So here will be -1, here it will be -1, here it will be -1. It will be the same as we discussed above. So exactly 2 columns cannot contains all the 3 negative signs. Okay, so this is already, you can say, discussed. So next case, exactly 1 column contains all the 3 negative signs. So say column 1 contains all the 3 negative signs. We can pick the column by 3C1 number of ways, and say column 1 contains all the 3 negative signs. So here we can say that in second column there will be exactly 1 negative sign, because second column cannot contain, we are discussing the case that exactly 1 column contains all the 3 negative signs. So in other 2 columns there will be exactly 1 negative sign. So if we pick one entry from here, say entry 1, that this contains exactly 1 negative sign, so other entries must be 1. Similarly, this row must contain odd number of negative signs. So if we fix -1 here at this position, then this position will also be -1, and other 2 positions will be 1. So how many such matrices can be formed? So for the selection of this column, that exactly 1 column contains all the 3 negative signs, we have written 3C1. Then we have to select 1 entry from here, 1 position from here, which will contain minus sign. So 3C1 for that position. And if we fix the negative sign in the second column, the third column will be fixed. We have seen it. So third column, there will be only 1 possibility. So total there are 9 possibilities again for such a matrix. And the last case, that no column contains all the 3 negative signs. So in that case we can say that first column contains exactly 1 negative sign. So we can pick this in 3C1 ways. Then you can say, okay, sir, in second column there will be 2 possibilities to, you can say, fix the negative sign, because the negative sign will not come here. If negative sign comes here, then last also that there will be negative sign, and according to that we have to fix this row will contain all the plus signs, and if this does not contains all the plus signs, we fix any negative sign here, then this column will contain all the 3 negative signs. So there will be only 2 possibilities, that either this position or this position. So in 2C1 ways we can select this, and in last case there will be exactly 1 possibility. So there will be 6 possibilities here. So in total there are 16 possible matrices which can be formed under this restriction. The probability of that event will be 2 power 4, 16, divided by 2 power 9. All possibility of matrices will be 2 power 9. Every possibility will have 2 choices. Every position will have 2 choices. So there will be 2 power 9 total possibilities. So this ratio must be the answer. This is the probability of E, event E. And this is 1 upon 2 power 5. That means 1 by 32. So C must be the correct answer. Let's see. Yeah, C is the correct answer. Let's move on the next question. If A is a non-singular matrix, that means determinant of A is non-zero. Satisfying this equation, then which of the following holds true? Okay, if we say that AB is equal to BA plus A, or we can say AB is equal to B plus identity matrix into A, We can express it like this. Taking determinant on both the sides, we can see that determinant A, determinant B must be determinant B plus I into determinant A. Now determinant A is non-zero, so we can cancel it out. So determinant B is determinant of B plus I. Similarly, we can see that BA is nothing but AB minus A, and you can write it BA is equal to A into B minus identity matrix. Again, taking determinant, we can see determinant B, determinant A is determinant A, determinant B minus I. So again, determinant A is non-zero, so we can cancel it out again. So determinant B from here is, we'll get it, determinant of B minus I, and from here determinant of B is determinant of B plus I. So that means we can say that determinant of B plus I is equal to determinant of B minus I. So option D must be correct. Yeah, option D is correct. So let's move to the next question, question number 42. Okay, A1, A2, A3 up to AN are the vertices of an n-sided regular polygon. Triangles are formed by joining three vertices of this polygon. If Pn denotes the probability that triangle thus formed is obtuse, then which of the following statements is not true? If Pn denotes the triangle formed is obtuse, out of n-sided regular polygon we are going to form this triangle. So if n is 12, then we have to comment on P12. If n is 15, if 15-sided regular polygon is taken, then P15, that number of such obtuse triangles are formed, probability of that. So we have to comment on all this. So let's solve this in general form, in form of n. Now this depends on n is even or odd. So first take the case that n is even. If n is even, then the polygon formed will be like something like this. That every vertex opposite to the center will have a corresponding vertex if n is even. So let's select any vertex using NC1. We say we selected A1. We can start from any vertex. Say we started from A1. NC1 we have written it to pick one of the vertex. Now say we leave x1 number of vertices here. We can use multinomial in this question. We leave x1 number of vertices here to select the second vertex. Say we name it P1, the first vertex, P2, the second vertex, and say we leave x2 number of vertices to select the third vertex and x3 number of vertices left here between P3 and P1. So using P1, P2, P3, joining P1, P2, P3, we will form a triangle. Now the condition is that P1, P2, P3 must be obtuse angle triangle. So you can see that this triangle must lie in one side of the center. I mean, if I form a circle, I circumscribe a circle on this polygon, then this triangle must be on the one side of the diameter. So you can see that this x3, well, at least this one side must be on the right side of the center, then this will be obtuse angle triangle. So this x3 must be, I think, there will be a minimum value for x3 that you have to leave. If you select P1, then the opposite vertex corresponding to P2, then say there is PK, then between P1 and PK, this area must be left blank. So all the three vertices will be from here. So there will be a minimum value of x3 if we are trying to make this obtuse angle triangle. So how many vertices are there? So there are total n vertices. We are counting P1 and opposite vertex of corresponding to P1. So there will be total n minus 2. So here there will be n minus 2 divided by 2 vertices. Total. There will be n minus 2 divided by 2 vertices here. And we cannot select this vertex corresponding to P1 also, because otherwise the triangle will be right angle triangle. This is just opposite to P1. So this line will pass through the center. So this will be one of the diameter of the circle. So this triangle thus formed will be right angle triangle. So we have to ignore this vertex also, so plus 1. So we have to ignore this much of vertices, and this is n by 2. So if we say that x1 plus x2 plus x3, kitna hoga ye? How much it will be? So there are total n vertices. We have selected 3 vertices, so this must be n minus 3. The restriction here is that one of these xi's must be greater than or equal to n by 2. At least we have to leave n by 2 vertices. Half we have to leave. So if we say that one of these will have at least n by 2, then we can say 3c1. Which one of these? We have to take cases. Now if we give n by 2 one of these, then we will get x1 plus x2 plus x3. Say x3 को हमने n by 2 minimum दे दिया, तो उसको x3 dash बोल देते हैं. तो this will be n by 2 minus 3. Now number of non-negative integral solutions of this equation will be c n by 2 minus 3. Now n by 2 minus 1, I think. So this is number of solutions of this equation. So this will be n by 2 minus 1 c n by 2 minus 3. So these are total possible obtuse triangles if n is even. So if we divide this, okay, this divided by 3 because there will be repetition. If we selected A1 in NC1 and then a triangle formed A1, A2, A3, then here we can select A2. Again the triangle A1, A2, A3 can be formed. So there will be repetitions 3 times. So we divide, finally this divide by 3. So there will be total number of, these are total number of such triangles which are obtuse. So divide this in total number of ways, that NC3. Total कितने triangle बन सकते थे, उसे divide किया, तो this will be probability when n is even. So if we simplify this, we can see that 3c1 is cancelled out and Pn is nothing but n multiplied by n minus 2 divided by 2 into n minus 4 divided by 2, I think divided by 2 factorial, and whole divided by NC3, that means n minus 1, n minus 2 divided by 3 factorial, that means 6. So we can calculate this, that n minus 2 are cancelled out, and finally this Pn is n minus 4 divided by n minus 1, and you can see this is 6 by 8 or 3 by 4 n minus 4 divided by n minus 1 when n is even. So if we observe that P12, if we put n is equal to 12, we'll get this is 8 divided by 11. So this is 6 by 11. So this is correct option. I mean this is correct statement that P12 is 6 by 11. We have to find which of the statements is not true. So this is true statement. This will not be the answer. If we put n is equal to 10 here, so if n is 10, so this will be 6 divided by 9. So finally, I think this will be 1 by 2, but it is given 2 by 3. So this is incorrect option. So this must be the one of the answers. Similarly, we can calculate for n is equal to even, n is equal to odd using this. So A and D will be correct statements. You can apply multinomial simply, otherwise it will be little difficult. So let's check the answer. According to us, the C option is not a true statement. Yes, C is the correct answer. Okay, now move on the numerical value questions. Okay, STEM question STEM. There are 2 red and n black balls. There are 2 red and n black balls in an urn. Balls are drawn one by one without replacement from the urn by a machine. Player P is declared as winner as soon as 2 black balls are drawn, and player Q is winner as soon as 2 red balls are drawn, first drawn by the machine. The machine keep on drawing balls until one of the 2 players wins. Let Pn and Qn denote the respective probability of the win of the player P and Q. Okay, we have to comment on Pn and Qn, that which player, say player P wins or player Q wins. So I think until 2 black or 2 red balls are drawn, then the game will be continued. So there will be only 3 draws, I think. If we say that P wins, that means probability of winning P. So I think there will be only 3 cases that P will be declared as a winner if 2 black balls are drawn before drawing 2 red balls. So there can be black, black. In the first 2 draws, the P wins, or first black, then red, then black, or red, black, and black. We are saying that before drawing 2 black balls, maximum we can draw a single red ball. Because if before drawing 2 black balls, 2 red balls are drawn, then Q will be the winner. So we can draw maximum 1 red ball. So either no red ball is drawn before drawing 2 consecutive black balls, or 1 red is drawn. So it can be on the first position or second position only. So we can write the probabilities directly, that if directly 2 black balls are drawn in the first 2 draws, so on the first draw, drawing a black ball, the probability will be n divided by n plus 2. And on the second draw, there will be n minus 1 black balls remaining, and total there will be n plus 1 balls. So n minus 1 divided by n plus 1. Drawing 2 consecutive black balls. Okay. Now, if on the first draw, black ball is drawn, the probability is n by n plus 2. On the second draw, there will be total n plus 1 balls, but there are 2 red balls. So drawing a red ball, the probability will be 2 divided by n plus 1. And on the third draw, there will be n minus 1 black balls remaining, and total there are n balls. So drawing a black ball is n minus 1 divided by n. Similarly, on the first draw, if we draw a red ball, the probability will be 2 divided by n plus 2. On the second draw, if we draw a black ball, the probability will be n divided by n plus 1. And on the third draw, the probability will be n minus 1 divided by n. So these are the probabilities corresponding to these 3 cases. Now we'll add these 3 and we can get P of n. So P of n will be, we can take n plus 1, n plus 2, the common denominator. Now here it will be n square into n minus 1 plus 2n into n minus 1 plus 2n into n minus 1. So finally you can see the n and n minus 1 are cancelled out. Sorry, my mistake. N is cancelled out, and it will be n into n minus 1 and plus 2 into n minus 1. This is plus 2 into n minus 1. Okay, so if we take n minus 1 also common, so it will be n minus 1 into n plus 2 divided by n plus 1 n plus 2. So n plus 2 will also be cancelled out. So this will be n minus 1 divided by n plus 1. So P of n is n minus 1 divided by n plus 1. Similarly, we can calculate the probability of winning of Q. So in that case, if 2 red balls are drawn before drawing a black ball, so for Qn, we can say that again there will be 3 cases, that either first 2 balls are red balls, or red, black, red, or black, red, red. Before drawing 2 black, we must select 2 red balls. So at least, or you can say at most 1 black can be selected before drawing 2 red balls. So probability here will be 2 divided by n plus 2 into 1 divided by n plus 1. Probability here it will be 2 divided by n plus 2, n divided by n plus 1, and 1 divided by n. And here the probability will be again n divided by n plus 2, 2 divided by n plus 1, 1 divided by n. Now adding all these 3 will get Qn, and again that will be taking common LCM, n plus 1, n plus 2. So this will be 2n plus 2n plus 2n. So this is 6n divided by n plus 1, n plus 2. So finally it is 6 upon n plus 1, n plus 2. Okay. So the first question was that we have to find the value of this q1 plus q2 up to qn and it tends to infinity. So we have to find the sum of infinite series, and we have calculated qn is equal to 6 upon n plus 1, n plus 2. So we can apply the telescopic series. So 6 divided by n plus 1, n plus 2 is the general term qn. We have to find this n is equal to 1 to infinity. This will be the answer of question number 43. So we can write it 6 into 1 upon n plus 1 minus 1 upon n plus 2, and then apply summation n is equal to 1 to infinity. So it will be 6 into, if we put n is equal to 1, half. So this must be 3. Let's check the answer for question number 43. Yeah, 3 is the answer. Now in next question, we have to comment of Pn, and we calculated Pn was n minus 1 divided by n plus 1. Okay. So we have to find this product, that P of 2, P of 3, P of 4 up to P of n, and then again n tends to infinity. So let's first find this product up to P of n. So P of 2 will be, if I put P, n is equal to 2, 3, 4 and so on. So this required product will be 1 upon 3 into, I think this will be, if I put n is equal to 3, 2 upon 4, then 3 upon 5 and so on up to n minus 2 upon n plus 1. Sorry, n minus 2 upon n into n minus 1 upon n plus 1. This is the required product. So if I cancel out the terms, so 3 from here will be cancelled out here. So 4 will be cancelled out here. 5 will be cancelled out here, I think. Just 1 second, I have to check this calculation only. N plus 1, n plus 2. So n square n minus 1 plus 2n n minus 1, 2n n minus 1. So this is 4n n minus 1 divided by n plus 1, n plus 2. Okay. So this is n is cancelled out, and it will be n minus 1 into n plus 4. Okay, this is the Pn. This is n plus 4. Okay. This will be n plus 4 divided by n plus 2. So we can again simultaneously we can multiply by putting n is equal to 2, 3, 4 for this. So we have to multiply this by 6 divided by 4 into 7 divided by 5 into 8 divided by 6 and so on up to n plus 3 divided by n plus 1 and n plus 4 divided by n plus 2. So this will be the final product up to this, and then we have to apply n tending to infinity. So we say that 3 is cancelled out, 4 is cancelled out, and finally you can see that the denominator here will cancel out the numerator after leaving one term in between. We can feel this. So the denominator here will cancel out this. The denominator here will cancel out this. So in starting there will be 2 terms left. In the end, in the denominator there will be 2 terms left. So this product is 2 divided by n into n plus 1. Similarly, we can find this product. The 6 here will cancel out this, 7 here will cancel out this, and so on. You can again see the numerator in this term will cancel out the denominator after leaving one term in between. So this numerator will cancel out this. Again, before this, that will cancel out n plus 1. So again we'll get 2 terms in the numerator, 2 terms in the denominator. This will be n plus 3 into n plus 4 divided by 4 into 5. So again, if we apply n tending to infinity, so cancel out this. So we are getting, this is 1 by 10. This product is given 1 by m, so m must be equal to 10. Now the question is, find the sum of all divisors of m. So divisors of m will be 1, 2, 5, 10. There will be four divisors. If we find the sum of all these divisors, the answer must be 18. Let's check the answer. Yeah, the answer is 18. Okay, next question is on vectors. There are 3 vectors A, B, C. Their magnitudes are given 1, 3 and 2 respectively. It is given that CA vector is perpendicular to CB vector. That means C vector minus A vector dot C vector minus B vector is equal to 0. From here you will get magnitude of C square minus C dot A plus B plus A dot B is 0. Okay. So if we say that magnitude of C square, that will be 4. So 4 minus C dot A plus B plus A dot B is given as 0. In the first question, we have to calculate the value of this. So let's expand this. This will be magnitude A square plus magnitude B square minus 2A dot B. And we have to add plus 2C dot A plus B. Now C dot A plus B minus A dot B, the value will be 4 from this equation. And so this will be magnitude of A square, that means 1, magnitude of B square, that means 9, minus 8. 4 into 2. So answer must be 2 for this question. Just 1 second. Okay, this is plus. Okay, this we have to add this. My mistake. This is minus. So answer is 18. Okay, in the next question we have to find the magnitude of A plus B minus C. So again we can say that A plus B minus C whole square will be magnitude A square plus magnitude B square plus magnitude C square plus 2 A dot B minus B dot C minus C dot A. This will be magnitude of A plus B minus C whole square. So if we calculate this part, we'll get the value of magnitude of A plus B minus C. So this is 1, this is 9, this is 4, and what is the value of this? So from the last page, we can see that A dot B minus A dot C minus B dot C is actually minus 4. So A dot B minus B dot C minus A dot C is minus 4. So this portion will be minus 8 here. So this must be, I think, 6. Yes, 6 is the answer. Let's move on the next question. Okay, in a township, every family has 2 children and the probability of a child being boy is half. All the boys and their fathers assemble at a meeting. The first question is, if a boy present at this meeting is picked up at random, P is the probability that his sibling is also a boy. Then we have to calculate the value of 6P. So let's take, say there are 100 families in a city. Let's make it some easier question. There are 100 families in a city. So according to the data, there can be either boy boy, girl girl, boy girl or girl boy. ये पॉसिबिलिटी हो सकती है किसी फैमिली में if there are two children. So probability being 2 boys is 1/4, probability being 2 girls is 1/4. So 1 boy 1 girl, the total probability will be half. So we can say if there are total 100 families, so 25 families will have 2 boys, 25 families will have 2 girls, and 50 families will have 1 boy and 1 girl. So if we invite all the boys with their fathers, so that means we are going to invite actually 75 families in the, you can say, meeting. So because there are exactly 75 families which have at least 1 boy in the family. Okay. So there are total 75 families. So if we are saying that a boy is present at this meeting, is picked up at random, and P is the probability that his sibling is a boy. Okay, so what is the probability that when a boy is picked up random and his sibling is also a boy? So there are total 100 boys, you can say it. There will be total 100 boys in the meeting because we have invited 75 families, 25 such families. So we have invited 50 boys and 25 and 25, total 50 boys from here. So we have invited 100 boys. So if we select any boy, the total number of ways are 100C1. And we have to find the probability that his sibling is also a boy. So we must select that boy from these families. So we total have such number of 50 boys. So we have to select one out of these 50 boys. So then we'll get that his sibling is also a boy. So favorable selections are 50C1. So this probability must be half. So according to us, the value of P is half. So 6P must be 3. Yeah, 3 is the answer. Okay, next question. If a man present in the meeting is picked at random, then Q be the probability that he had 2 sons. Then we have to comment on 6Q. Again, we are saying that we have invited 75 families. In 25 families, we invited 50 boys. In 25 families, we invited 25 boys, and in 25 families, we invited 25 boys, along with their fathers. So there will be 25 persons, 25 here, 25 here. Total, if we say talk about the fathers, so there are total 75 fathers in this meeting. So if a man present in this meeting is picked up at random, then the probability that he had 2 sons. So obviously total number of ways are 75 to select a person. But there are total 75 fathers in the meeting. And the favorable ways will be 25. That he had 2 sons. The favorable is 25. The answer is 1/3. So according to us, Q is 1/3. So we have to comment on 6Q. So that must be 2. A 2 is the answer. Let's move on the next question. Okay, there is a matrix A 2 1 0 3. Then we have to comment on A power 10. If we calculate A power 10, then by comparing we can get A, B, C, D, and then the options are based on the addition of A, B, C, D or directly on A and B. So we can write down A is equal to 2 times identity matrix plus, I think, this matrix. So A is, this matrix is P. So A is 2I plus P. Now if I calculate A power 10, so we have to check the value of P square, P cube, P power 4. So for this you can say that P square is 0101 multiplied by 0101. This is P square, and if I calculate this will be, I think, 0, this will be 1, this will be 0, this will be 1. So that is P only. So we can say that p cube is also p. That will be p square. Again, that will be p. And in fact, p power n is p only. So a power 10 is nothing but 2i plus p whole power 10. So if I expand this binomially, then a power 10 will be 10c0 2 power 10 identity matrix plus 10c1 2 power 9 p power 1 and so on up to 10c10 p power 10. 2 power 0 p power 10. So if I observe a power 10 is nothing but 2 power 10 into identity matrix plus, now here this will be p power 1, in the next term p square will be again written as p power 1 and p power 10 can be written as p power 1. So if I take the scalars common, so we'll get 10c1 2 power 9 plus 10c2 2 power 8 up to 10c10 2 power 0 times p. This is a power 10. Now we can calculate this sum. Again we have to add and subtract 10c0 2 power 10. So this can be written as 2 power 10 times identity matrix plus 3 power 10 minus 2 power 10 times p. This is a power 10. Okay. So a power 10 is 2 power 10 into identity matrix plus 3 power 10 minus 2 power 10 into p, and p is 0, 0, 1, 1. So if we calculate a power 10, I think this will be 2 power 10, 3 power 10 minus 2 power 10 here, 0 here, and I think 3 power 10 here. So this is a power 10, and which was written as a, b, c, d. Okay, like this. So this is a, b, c, d. Now if we compare that a is 2 power 10, b is 3 power 10 minus 2 power 10, c is 0, and d is 3 power 10. Now what we have to check? Number of factors of a is 11. Now a is 2 power 10, so obviously number of factors will be 11. Because 2 is prime number, so it is expressed as 2 power 10. So alpha plus 1 will be number of factors. B is even integer. Now B is odd minus even. So this is even, not an even integer, this is odd. So option B is incorrect. Option A was correct, B is incorrect. Number of factors of A plus B plus C plus D. Okay, we have to add A, B, C, D. So A plus B plus C plus D. So this will be, I think, 2 into 3 power 10. So 2 power 1 into 3 power 10. So total number of factors here will be 2 into 11, that will be 22, and it is 22. So option C is correct. A plus D is a multiple of 13. Now what is A plus D? A plus D is 3 power 10 plus 2 power 10. So we have to check that whether it is multiple of 13 or not. Multiple of 13. Okay, we can write this 3 power 10 as, you can say, in multiple of 13 plus 1 or minus 1. So multiple of 13 plus 1 or minus 1, so that means we can write it 26 plus 1. So we have to take 3 separate, and then we can write it 27. 26 plus 1 whole power 3. 27 whole cube remaining. And again we have to write 2 power 10 in the form of multiple of 16. So that will be 64 plus 1. 65 is multiple of 16. So we have to write it 16 times 65 minus 1. We can write it like this. So we can say from here we'll get multiple of 13 plus 3, and from here we'll get multiple of 13 minus 16. So finally you can see that 13 lambda 13 mu and minus 13. Finally this will be a multiple of 13. So according to us, D was also correct. So the final answer is A, B, A, C, D. B is incorrect. Let's move on the next question. If the equation this represents a pair of perpendicular planes, then we have to comment of P minus Q. P is the coefficient of x square and Q is the coefficient of z square. Okay, if we multiply two planes to form such equation, and these planes are perpendicular, then coefficients of x square, y square and z square, the resultant of the addition of these three must be 0. So from here, first condition we can comment that P plus Q plus 1 must be 0. Secondly, if this equation represents a plane, let's form a quadratic in x. So that quadratic will be P x square plus x into z plus 3y and plus y square plus qz square, and this will be plus 2yz is equal to 0. This is a quadratic in x. Let's write down its roots. So x will be equal to minus z plus 3y plus or minus under root z plus 3y whole square minus 4p into this y square plus qz square plus 2yz whole divided by 2p. So let's multiply 2p in the left hand side. So if we get a linear expression in y and z from here, then there will be two linear expressions in or linear equations in x, y, z. Then we can say there will be two planes. So if we multiplied two planes and we get this, so this expression must be a linear expression after taking under root in y and z. So this must be a perfect square inside the under root in y and z. So let's simplify this portion. We will get z square plus 9y square plus 6yz minus 4p y square minus 4pq z square and minus 8 p yz. We get this expression. So finally we can say that the coefficient of y square is 9 minus 4p. So 9 minus 4p y square. Then the coefficient of z square or yz. So let's talk about the coefficient of yz. That will be plus 6 minus 8p yz, or the coefficient of z square is 1 minus 4pq z square. Now if this is a perfect square, then discriminant, or you can say b square minus 4ac, must be 0. Then only it will be a perfect square. So 6 minus 8p whole square must be equal to 9 minus 4p into 1 minus 4pq. Again we know that p plus q is minus 1. So you can replace the value of q here. We'll get an equation in p and we can solve for p. So let's solve it. There is a little calculation that 6 minus 8p whole square is equal to 4 into 9 minus 4p, I think. Yeah, into 1 minus 4pq. 1 minus 4p. What is q? Q is minus 1 minus p. Because p plus q was 1. Minus 1. So we can write the value of q. So this is complete expressed in p. So this will be, I think we can take a 2 common, which will cancel out this 4. So here it will be 3, here it will be 4. Now squaring it, so 16p square plus 9 minus 24p is equal to, this is 9 minus 4p into, let's simplify this first, this will be 4p square plus 4p plus 1. So here we'll get a cubic type. So this will be 36p square plus 36p plus 9 minus 16p cube minus 16p square minus 4p. So we get 16p cube, and the coefficient of p square is 20p square in the right hand side. So if take it in the left hand side, it will be minus 4p square finally. The coefficient of p in the right hand side is 32p. If we take it on the left side, so this will be minus 56p. And I think 9 will be cancelled out. So this is 0. So we can easily solve it because this is p into, or we can take 4p common. So this is 4p times 4p square minus p minus 14 is equal to 0. So either p is 0 or this is 0. Now p cannot be 0 here, because if you take p is equal to 0, then x will not be expressed as in terms of y and z. There will be not the real root, or you can say this will be not a quadratic in x. Okay, then you have to check through y square. You can form a quadratic in y. Again, there you can see that p is equal to 0 will not make that expression as linear in x, y, z. So we'll calculate the value of p from here. So p will be equal to, either factorize it or you can write the roots. 4p square minus p minus 14 is equal to 0. You can factorize it on like 4p square minus 8p plus 7p minus 14 is equal to 0. Or you can take 4p common from here, p minus 8 plus 7 into p minus 2 is equal to 0, or p is equal to 2 and minus 7 by 4. Okay, if p is 2, then q is, because p plus q must be minus 1, so this is minus 3. If p is minus 7 by 4, then in that case, q will be, you can check that p plus q is minus 1, so again minus p minus 1. So I think this will be 3 by 4. We have to find the value of p minus q. That what can be the value of p minus q? So p minus q from here can be 5, or p minus q from here can be minus 5 by 2. So there will be two possibilities. So 5 and minus 5 by 2. So according to us, A and D should be the correct options. A and D are correct options. Okay, let's move on the next question. There are three vectors, A vector, B vector, C vector, which are expressed as the product of two matrices like this, where M is given as a matrix, 3 cross 3 matrix. Now he is saying that a random point P with position vectors x I cap, y j cap, z k cap is selected such that each coordinate x, y, z is chosen independently from minus 1, 0 or 1. So x, y, z in this vector P vector can be either minus 1 or 0 or 1. Now we define an event E that P lies on the plane passing through origin and containing the vectors A and B. So from here, if we compare the vectors A, B, C, so A vector will be I cap plus j cap plus 2j cap plus 3k cap. B vector will be 2i cap minus j cap plus k cap, and C vector will be j cap minus k cap. These are three vectors A, B, C. Now we have to find the probability that x, y, z chosen from this lies on the plane which contains the origin and the vectors A vector and B vector. So basically we have to find the equation of plane which contains 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3 and 2, minus 1, 1. So if we join, or if we write A vector is this, so the normal to the plane must be A cross B. The normal to the plane will be A cross B, because the plane contains both A vectors and B vectors. So if I calculate A and B, A cross B, so this is I, J, K 1, 2, 3, 2 minus 1, 1. So this will be 5 I cap, okay, 2 minus 3, and the coefficient of j cap will be minus j cap into 1 minus 6, so minus 5, so this will be plus 5 j cap, and the coefficient of k cap will be minus 1 minus 4, so minus 5 k cap. So you can take 1, 1, minus 1 as the coefficients of x, y, z in the required plane, because 1, 1, minus 1 will be the direction. So x plus y minus z must be 0. This is equation of the plane because this plane passes through origin. So the constant term will be 0. Now we have to find the probability that the chosen x, y, z from these three satisfies this equation. So if I say that all the possibilities, total possibilities will be 3 power 3, 27 possibilities. Now calculate the favorable possibilities that x plus y is equal to z, or you can say z is x plus y is equal to z. That means sum of 2 must be equal to 3. So sum of 2 must be equal to 3. So if z is equal to 1, z can take 3 possibilities. If z is equal to 1, then sum of 2 must be equal to 1. So I think 1 must be 0, 1 must be 1. एक 0 एक 1 लोगे तभी उनका सम आपका 1 आ पाएगा. So there will be 2 possibilities, 2C1, that either x is 0, y is 1, or x is 1, y is 0. If z is equal to 0, if z is 0, then sum of 2 is 0. So either both are 0, or one is 1 and other is minus 1. So both are 0 means one case, and if x is 1, y is minus 1, or x is minus 1, y is 1, so there will be 2 cases. So total there are 3 favorable cases here. Now again, if z is equal to minus 1, we have to choose x and y such that sum of these is x and y is minus 1. So again minus 1 and 0 must be chosen. So again there will be 2 ways, 2C1. So total, if you calculate, there will be 7 favorable, you can say, positions of x, y, z, and total there are 27. So probability of E must be 7 by 27. Okay, for option B, there is an event F that the point P lies on or inside the tetrahedron formed by origin A, B and C. Origin, the vector A, vector B, vector C. Using these 4 points, we have formed a tetrahedron. So the probability that that point P lies inside or on the tetrahedron. So जैसा हम triangle में straight lines में करते थे कि that a point lies within a triangle or on or within a triangle. So we have to take the position of a point with respect to the base, one of the sides of the triangle. So similarly here, if you are saying that there is a tetrahedron O, A, B, C. So there will be 4 triangular faces. So if I say a point XYZ lies within the tetrahedron, so I must say that the point P and C must lie on the same side of the plane OAB. For OAB, if P and C lies on the same side, then we can say that P have some possibility to lie within the tetrahedron. Otherwise, it will be outside the tetrahedron. Similarly, we will apply a case that vertex B and point P will be on the same side of the plane OAC. And similarly, we can say P and O will be on the same side of ABC, and P and A will be on the same side of OBC. So we have to calculate all the 4 planes. One we have calculated, the plane containing the vector A and B. This is x plus y minus z is equal to 0. And the point C is 0, 1, minus 1. So if P, x, y, z and C lies on same side of this plane, then x plus y minus z, putting this point in this plane and putting this in this plane, 0, 1 and minus 1. So that will be 2. This must be greater than or equal to 0. So from here we are saying that x plus y should be greater than or equal to z. Similarly, we will calculate the other 3 planes, and there can be only 4 possibilities of such x, y, z using these inequalities. So probability of f will be 4 by 27. That will be an easy part. You can calculate the planes. Now in the C option, determinant of m is non-zero. Obviously matrix m is given, so determinant of m can be calculated easily, and that will be non-zero. Last option is saying the probability p lies on all 3 coordinate planes simultaneously only is. That means point p must lie on all the 3 coordinate planes. That means the point p is on origin. So there is only one possibility to select p, and there are total 27 possibilities. So 1 by 27 is the probability. So option D is also correct. So according to us, A, B, C, D, all options are correct. Yeah, A, B, C, D, all options are correct. Okay. Again, 52 number question. There is a matrix A such that Aij is I power j minus 1, and we have to comment on determinant of A, because in option 1 also A is invertible or not. We have to comment on determinant of A, and in all 3 options again there is determinant of A involved. So determinant of A will be, I think using such entries, it will be 1, 1, 1 and so on. In the second row, you will see when I is equal to 2 and j starts from 1 to n. So this will be 1, 2, 2 square up to 2 power n minus 1 and so on. 1, n, n square up to n power n minus 1. So this is determinant of A. Now if you have heard about such a determinant, that 1 alpha square up to alpha power n, 1 beta square up to beta power n, and so on. Vandermonde's determinant, it is called. In fact, you have heard about 1 alpha square, 1 beta square. You have seen such question, 1 gamma square. So we explain it like that total degree of this, after making it of this polynomial or this expression will be 3. You can add the powers of the diagonals. So 0, 1, 2, so this will be 3 degree expression in variables. And if I replace alpha by beta, then this will be 0 because 2 rows will be same. So there must be a factor something like alpha minus beta. Similarly, if I replace beta by gamma, again the determinant is 0. So it must be in the form of beta minus gamma also. Similarly, alpha and gamma. So this determinant can be expressed as the product of these 3 factors. Because again the degree of the variables will be 3, and here also the degree is 3. So on the same note, we can say that this determinant, if I use 1 alpha 1 alpha 2 and so on, 1 alpha 2 alpha 2 alpha 2, and similarly alpha n power 2 up to alpha n power n. If I talk about this determinant, so this must be like alpha 1 minus alpha 2, alpha 2 minus alpha 3, alpha 3 minus alpha 4. In fact, all possible pairs, all possible factors using 2 elements, alpha I, alpha j. You can see the sum of the powers here. The sum of the powers here will be 0, 1. If I say 1 as alpha, 2 as beta, 3 as gamma, So sum of the powers will be n into n minus 1 by 2. And total number of factors, again if I choose any 2 terms from here, there will be NC2 number of ways, that is again n into n minus 1 by 2. So this can be expressed as difference of any alpha I or n alpha j. So finally, if we solve it, this will be n minus 1 factorial, n minus 2 factorial, n minus 3 factorial, and so on up to 1. Because if I take difference of n minus 1, that will be 1, n minus 2, 2, n minus 3, 3, up to n and this row. So that is n minus 1. So product of 1, 2, 3 up to n minus 1. It will form n minus 1 factorial. Then if I go on, I took all the possibilities corresponding to this row. Then if I go to the second last row, then the difference of this row with all these rows upper than this, because the cases with last row has already been taken. So if I subtract second last minus third last, so the answer will be 1, then 2, 3, and then it will be finally n minus 2. So it will form n minus 2 factorial and so on. So finally this is the expansion of that determinant. Now coming on the options, that whether A is invertible or not. If n is expressed as this, or the determinant is expressed as this, then this product can never be 0. Yes, Arush? Okay, please write, I'll check it. Okay, this value can never be 0, so A is invertible. Second option is determinant of A is divisible by n minus 1 factorial, so obviously it is divisible by n minus 1 factorial. Okay. Third option, determinant of A is divisible by n minus 2 whole square, so obviously there will be 1 n minus 2 here, 1 n minus 2 will be involved in this product, so it will be divisible by n minus 2 whole square. Determinant of A when n is equal to 5. Now put n is equal to 5 here. It will be 4 factorial, 3 factorial, 2 factorial, 1 factorial. So this is 24 into 6 into 2. Obviously this is 288. So again, all the options were correct. A, B, C, D. The final answer is A, B, C, D. Okay, Arush. Okay, next question, it is based on probability. Ravi randomly picks 3 distinct numbers from the set 1, 2, 3 up to 8, 9 and arranges them in decreasing order, descending order to form a 3-digit number. Like if he selects 2, 5 and 9, then the number will be 952. He will arrange the digits in descending order. Sunny does this similar work, but this selection is made from the set 1, 2, 3 up to 8. Now in this set 9 is missing. Now we have to find the probability that Ravi's 3-digit number is always greater than Sunny's 3-digit number. That means Ravi is using the digit 9 to form his 3-digit number. So number of ways to form a 3-digit number using 19 will be 8C2 divided by 9C3. If he forms any number using 9, then his number will be always greater than Sunny's 3-digit number if he uses 9. So he picks one number as 9 and 2 numbers from the remaining 8 digits. So 8C2 are favorable ways and total 9C3 were the total number of ways. So if we solve it, this will be 8C2 divided by 9 upon 3, 8C2. This is cancelled out and this is 1 by 3. So option A is correct. In second option, we have to find the probability that Ravi and Sunny has same 3-digit number. They both are having same 3-digit number. That means Ravi is not using 9. And whichever the number Sunny formed, he will form the same number from the remaining 8 digits. So the probability will be, or the favorable number of ways will be, the number formed by Sunny, so 1, जो इन्होंने नंबर फॉर्म किया, the same number is found by Ravi. but total number of ways to select 3 numbers for Ravi was 9C3. So this will be 1 divided by 9 into 8 into 7 divided by 6, and I think this is 12, so 1 by 84. So option B is also correct. Probability that Ravi's 3-digit number is greater than Sunny's 3-digit number. The probability that Ravi's 3-digit number is greater than Sunny's 3-digit number. Now in option 1 and option 3, there is little difference, that in option 1 he was saying that his Ravi's 3-digit number is always greater than Sunny's 3-digit number. मतलब कोई भी number Sunny form करे, Ravi's number is always greater. So that means Ravi is using 9. But here he is saying that Ravi's number is greater than Sunny's 3-digit number. That means he can use the digits 1, 2, 3 up to 8 also, but he must form a number greater than Sunny's 3-digit number. Okay. We'll solve these last 2 options simultaneously. Probability that Sunny's 3-digit number is not less than Ravi's 3-digit number. Okay. If I say that 1 by 3 is the probability that Ravi is using 9, okay, to form his 3-digit number, then in the other cases he will, in 2 by 3 probability, he will not use 9 to form his 3-digit number. Now he and Sunny will be at same, you can say platform to form their 3-digit numbers. So if Ravi is also using 1 to 8, Sunny is also using 1 to 8 to form the numbers, say X is the probability that Sunny's number is greater. So we can say, sir, X will be the probability that Ravi's number is greater. Or no? And their numbers are same. That probability is 1 by 84. This must be 1. But this is total probability. By either Ravi is using 9, or their numbers are same, or one is having a greater number. So when both are using 1 to 8, then both chances of both having the greater number will be same. So if X is the probability that Ravi's number is greater than Sunny's number, then X is the probability that Sunny's number is greater than Ravi's number when we are using 1 to 8. So we can calculate the value of X from here. This is 2X plus, I think this will be 29 divided by 84, I think, is equal to 1, and 2X is equal to 84 minus 29 divided by 84. So let's calculate this. This will be, I think, 29, yeah, 50. Oh, sorry, 55. So 2X is 55 divided by 84. Okay. We can calculate the probability from here. Okay, so this is 1 by 56. Because the case already has been taken here that Ravi is forming the number using 9. So if he is using 9, then the probability is 1 by 3. And if he is not using 9, then the probability both numbers are same. Then the 1 by 8C3 we have to write, because he will choose from the remaining 8 numbers. I think this will be 1 upon 8, 7, 6 divided by 6, yeah, 1 by 56. So this is 1 by 56. So we have to calculate X according to this. Let's moving on the next page. So 1 by 3 plus 2X plus 1 by 56 is equal to 1. Okay. So subtracting this, we'll get 2X is equal to 2 by 3 minus 1 by 56. So 2X is equal to, now this will be 112 minus 3 divided by 3 into 56, and we can easily calculate the value of x, and that will be 37 by 56. In probability, option 4, the probability that 3-digit number is not less than Ravi's 3-digit number. So we will just subtract, this is a probability that 3-digit number is greater than Sunny's 3-digit number. So it will contain both the cases x and 1 by 3, obviously. You have to add 1 by 3 also after finding x, then add 1 by 3, because he is saying that Ravi's 3-digit number is greater than Sunny's 3-digit number. So x is in the counting from 1 to 8, and 1 by 3 is also the favorable case. So you have to add both these. And after that, we have to calculate that Sunny's 3-digit number is not less than Ravi's 3-digit number. So that means Ravi's 3-digit number is greater. We have to calculate only this. So just subtract this from 1. So you will get 19 by 56. Okay. Their sum is 1. So you can subtract this from 1. You will get the answer. So I think all the options are correct. Yeah. Okay, in question number 54, L1, L2, there are two lines. We have to find whether these are parallel, intersecting, or shortest. We have to check the shortest distance or coplanarity. Now, if we say if these two lines are parallel or coinciding, then 2 upon 1 must be equal to minus 1 upon 2 must be equal to t upon minus 1. But these two are not equal. That means the lines will not have the same direction. So either these will be intersecting or coplanar. Skew lines. So if I write the distance between these skew lines, so that will be 2 minus 3 and 5. The difference of the points lying on the lines L1 and L2. Here the points are 1, 2, minus 1. Here the points are 3, minus 1 and 4. We are taking the difference only. So difference is 2, minus 3 and 5. And the directions of L1 and L2. So 2, minus 1 t and 1, 2, minus 1. Now this is the scalar triple product of A1 minus A2, B1 and B2. You know the shortest distance result. Now if we divide this by magnitude of B1 cross B2. So this will be the shortest distance, and what will be the magnitude? The magnitude will be, if I write IJK, मतलब B1 cross B2 का magnitude जो होगा, यहाँ पे आप B1 cross B2 directly लिख लीजिए, that will be 1 minus 2t whole square plus minus 2 minus t, or t plus 2 you can say, whole square, or 4 plus 1, so plus 25. This is the shortest distance between the lines L1 and L2. Lines are not parallel. So if we are saying that lines are L1 and L2 are parallel, so this is incorrect options. Lines are coplanar or shortest distance, okay. Lines can be coplanar if they intersect, okay. So when the lines will be intersecting, when this shortest distance is 0. If I make this determinant 0, this will be 2 into 1 minus 2t plus 3 into t plus 2 and plus 5 into, this is 5. This will be the value of determinant, and I made it 0. So finally we'll get the value of t. This is 3t minus 4t, the minus t, and let me check these signs only. 2 into 1 minus 2t minus 3, so that is 3 into, okay, this is minus. So minus 4 minus 3, so minus 7t plus 2 minus 6, so minus 4 plus 25. So plus 21 is equal to 0, so t is equal to 3. So lines will be intersecting if t is equal to 3, so A option is correct. And there is only one value of t if the lines are intersecting. So in option D, we are saying the lines are coplanar for exactly 2 values. This will be incorrect option, because the lines will be coplanar only if the lines are intersecting and there is only one value of t. Now in option 3, they are saying there are exactly 2 values of t for which shortest distance between the lines is 1 unit. Now if we make it 1 unit and square both the sides, we'll get a quadratic in t and we'll get two values of t from here. So option C is also correct. Just make it this shortest distance equal to 1 and solve for t, we will get two values of t. So A and C must be the correct answers. So yeah, A and C are correct. Let's move on the next question. 55. Let L1 be the projection and L2 be the image of Z axis in the plane this. The distance of the point 1, 2, 3 from the plane containing the lines L1 and L2 is. Okay. So there is a plane and if say this is Z axis. So L1 is the projection of Z axis in this plane and L2 is the image. So if I say L2 is the image of Z axis about this given plane. The equation of plane is given. This is 3x minus 4y plus z plus 1 is equal to 0. Okay. Now we have to find the equation of plane because we have to find the distance of this point from the plane which contains L1, L2. So if you can feel, say this is a horizontal plane, there is a horizontal plane and there is a line, say Z axis. If I say the projection of Z axis is L1 and then image is L2. So I think this given line, if this given line is L, so L, L1, L2 all will be in the same plane and we are talking about that plane only. So we have to calculate the equation of that plane first. So if I get 3 points on that plane, non-collinear points, then we can calculate the equation of that plane. Say normal of that plane is represented by ABC first. So that plane which contains L1, L2, L3 is obviously perpendicular with the given plane. So the first equation we can say that 3a minus 4b plus c must be 0. एक equation बनेगी यहाँ पे because the required plane and the given plane must be perpendicular to each other. The second, that if I satisfy Z axis with this given plane, this point Z axis means x and y both are 0. So this point will be 0, 0, minus 1. And let's say there is a point 0, 0, 0. Obviously this will be on the Z axis. So if I say direction of this line or Z axis can be represented as 0, 0, minus 1. And if the required plane contains Z axis, if a plane contains a line, then normal to that plane is also normal to that line. So that means ABC is also normal to this 0, 0, minus 1. So from here we can say that C is equal to 0. Because A dot 0, B dot 0 and C dot minus 1 is 0, that means C is equal to 0. So if C is equal to 0, then 3A is equal to 4B, or you can say A upon 4 is equal to B by 3. So you can use A as 4, B as 3. So required plane will be 4x plus 3y plus 0z because C is 0. And it passes through obviously 0, 0, minus 1. So 0, 0, minus 1, so that must be 0. It completely contains Z axis also. So it also contains origin. So 4x plus 3y is equal to 0 is the required plane. Now if you say that distance of this plane from 1 to 3 point, so distance of this plane from 1 to 3 is 10 divided by 5 and that must be 2. Okay. 2 is the answer. Okay, 56 question. There is a matrix journal entry is Aij 2i minus 1 into 3 power minus j. Then we have to calculate the trace of a power n whole power 1 by n when n tends to infinity. Okay, we can write A as product of two matrices. Was first, you can say column is 1, 3, 5 up to 2n minus 1 and all other entries are 0. So this is matrix P multiplied by a matrix Q, which is 1 by 3, 1 by 3 square, 1 by 3 cube, and so on, 1 by 3 power n, and its all other entries are 0. Now if you say that A is P into Q, if you select any ith row, jth column, then you will get Aij is equal to this. So if I talk about A power n, so that must be PQ whole power n, or PQ into PQ into PQ, and so on, like this. Okay. Now, what is QP? If I talk about QP, Q into P, so that will be, I think 1 by 3 square up to 1 by 3 power n, all other entries are 0, multiplied by 1, 3, 5 up to 2n minus 1, all other entries are 0 of P. So QP will be row 1, column 1, so first at 1 position, you will get a sum basically, which will be 2i minus 1 into 1 by 3 power I, or you can say summation 2r minus 1 upon 3 power r. R is equal to 1 to n. Let's denote this sum by s. We can this is AGP. We can calculate it separately. Okay. So on first position, you'll get s. On all other positions, you'll get 0. So QP is nothing but S into a matrix 1, 0, 0, and so on, 0, 0, such kind of matrix. So this is QP. And if I name this matrix as R, so R square will be R only, R cube will be R only, R power n will be R only. Okay, now this is A power n is equal to P into QP whole power n minus 1. So QP whole power n minus 1 will be S power n minus 1 into R power n minus 1, which is R only, which is 1, 0, 0, and so on, multiplied by Q in the last. Okay. So if I multiply this R into Q, if I multiply R by Q, so or P multiplied by Q, so you will see, okay, this will be Q only. If you multiply this R multiplied by Q, this will be Q only. So finally A power n will be S power n minus 1 into PQ. And what is the trace of A power n? Trace of A power n will be trace of PQ, means trace of A multiplied by S power n minus 1. And what is trace of A? If you put j is equal to I and then add the diagonal elements, you will get the sum of diagonal elements as S only. So that will be trace of A power n will be S power n only. You can directly say this. Now if I raise to power 1 by 9, if I apply limit n tending to infinity, the required quantity is S power n whole power 1 by n, limit n tends to infinity. Now we have to just calculate S here, and which is summation R is equal to 1 to n, or 1 to infinity. We have to, finally we have to take n tending to infinity. So 2r minus 1 divided by 3 power r. So this is AGP. So S is equal to nothing but 1 by 3 plus 1 by 3 square plus 1 by, 3 by 3 square plus 5 by 3 cube, and so on. And similarly, if I multiply it again by 1 by 3, the common ratio of the GP, so S by 3 will be 1 by 3 square plus 3 by 3 cube, and so on up to infinity. Now taking the difference of these two series, to 2s by 3 will be equal to 1 by 3 plus, here it will be 2 by 3 square plus 2 by 3 cube, and so on. Now here it will be infinite GP. You can cancel out 3 also. So 2s is equal to 1 plus 2 we are taking common, or 2 by 3 we are taking common. So it will be 1 plus 1 by 3 and so on up to infinity. So the sum of this infinite GP will be 2 by 3, 1 upon 2 by 3 or 3 by 2 you can say. So 2s is equal to 2, so s is equal to 1. S infinity is 1 basically when you tends and tending this n to infinity. So answer must be 1. Yeah, answer is 1. So let's move on the last question. This is quite easy question. Number of positive integral solutions of this equation. So the equation is expressed in the form of determinant. If I expand this, there is not much calculation. So this will be z cube plus 1 into x cube plus 1 minus x square z into z square x. Similarly, minus y square z into y z square into x cube plus 1 minus y x square into z square x plus y square x into y x square z cube minus y x square into z cube plus 1. So here if you see, so this is x cube z cube. The x cube z cube will be cancelled out. So y cube plus 1 is multiplied by actually x cube plus z cube plus 1, because x cube z cube will be cancelled out. Now here if you say, this will be x cube y z square and again x cube y z square. This term will be cancelled out corresponding to this. So finally it will be product of these two, and this is minus y cube z cube. And last also, if you see x square z cube y will be cancelled out, and it will be minus y x square into this. So this will be minus x cube y cube. So this is the expansion of the determinant. This is 11. So if I multiply this also, so this is x cube plus y cube plus z cube is equal to, I think it will become 10. So I think this is the final equation. So we have to find number of positive integral solutions of this equation. So I think there are, if x, y, z are integers, positive integers, so there will be a solution 1, 1, 2. Just we have to arrange these in x, y, z. So total number of ways will be 3. So I think there are total 3 positive integral solutions, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 and 2, 1, 1. So let's check the answer. The answer is 3. Okay. Thank you. Now I invite Ramesh sir for the physics subject. Sir.
Thank you, sir. How was the paper?
It was a bit lengthy or conceptual.
Okay.
But it was good. Nice paper.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Hello students, I am Ramesh Sharma, Physics faculty, Aakash Invictus, and today we are here for the discussion of Invictus test series, and I will take the physics part. So let's begin the discussion. Alright, this is section 1. This section contains 4 multiple choice questions, only one single correct. So let's move on to the question. A star initially has 10 raised to the power 40 deuteron. It produces energy via the process in which deuteron are converting into helium nucleus. If the average power radiated by the star is 10 raised to the power 16, the deuteron supply of the star is exhausted in a time of the order of, okay. So कितने टाइम में ड्यूट्रॉन की सप्लाई फिनिश हो जाएगी अपने को कैलकुलेट करना है. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई एम सिंप्लीफाइंग दिस रिएक्शन एज 3 deuterons are converting into 1 helium nucleus plus proton plus neutron. So we simplified this equation as, now we can calculate the Q value of this reaction. The Q value of this reaction is delta m into C square, where delta m is the mass difference. So this can be written as mass of reactant minus mass of product into C square. Now masses are given in the question. So on putting the masses, this Q value comes out to be 3.87 into 10 raised to the power minus 12 joule. Now this much amount of energy is released
व्हेन 3 ड्यूट्रॉन्स आर कंज्यूम्ड, 3 ड्यूट्रॉन के कंज्यूम होने पर इतनी एनर्जी निकली है। सो 10⁻40 ड्यूट्रॉन्स कंज्यूम होने पर टोटल कितनी एनर्जी निकलेगी हम यूनिटरी मेथड से कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं। सो वी कैन कैलकुलेट टोटल एनर्जी फॉर 10⁻40 ड्यूट्रॉन बाय यूनिटरी मेथड, एंड 3 ड्यूट्रॉन के लिए हमने कैलकुलेट किया है। इट comes out to be Q divided by 3 into 10⁻40. Now 10⁻40 ड्यूट्रॉन कंज्यूम होने पर इतनी एनर्जी निकलेगी। रेट ऑफ रेडिएशन क्वेश्चन में अपने को गिवन है। यस, इफ द एवरेज पावर रेडिएटेड बाय द स्टार इज 10, सो इस रेट से एनर्जी निकलेगी। सो टोटल एनर्जी को निकलने में जो टाइम लगेगा, दैट इज टोटल टाइम विल बी Q by 3 into 10⁻40 and rate is 10⁻16. So on putting the value of Q, which we calculated here, this order comes out to be 10⁻12 seconds. So इस order का time होगा सारे ड्यूट्रॉन को कंज्यूम होने में। So let's see the option 10⁻12. So let's check the answer. Yes, 10⁻12 is the answer. So based on Q value. Now let's move on to the next question. A biconvex lens of focal length 30 centimeter is in front of a plane mirror. The distance between the lens and the mirror is 20 centimeter. A small object is kept at a distance of 60 centimeter from the lens. The final image. Okay, तो थोड़ा सा इसको सिंप्लीफाई कर लेते हैं। इन द गिवन सिचुएशन हमारे पास एक लेंस है जिसका फोकल लेंथ हमको 30 सेंटीमीटर गिवन है। नाउ दिस लेंस इज प्लेस्ड इन फ्रंट ऑफ अ प्लेन मिरर, और प्लेन मिरर से इसकी जो दूरी है इट इज गिवन एज 20 सेंटीमीटर। इट इज गिवन एज 20 सेंटीमीटर। बहुत बढ़िया। नाउ एन ऑब्जेक्ट इज प्लेस्ड एट द प्रिंसिपल एक्सिस एट अ डिस्टेंस ऑफ 60 centimeter from the lens. 60 centimeter from the lens. Now we see focal length 30 centimeter है और 60 centimeter की दूरी पे रखा हुआ है। That means it is placed as 2f. ये लेंस से 2f डिस्टेंस पे प्लेस्ड है। Now if we draw the ray diagram, लेंस जो इसकी इमेज बनाएगा वो 60 सेंटीमीटर राइट की तरफ बनाना चाहेगा। सो लेंस जो इमेज बनाएगा वो 60 सेंटीमीटर राइट की तरफ बनाना चाहेगा, यानी प्लेन मिरर से 40 सेंटीमीटर पीछे बनाना चाहेगा। बट ड्यू टू रिफ्लेक्शन फ्रॉम द मिरर, मिरर से रिफ्लेक्शन की वजह से द रे विल बी रिफ्लेक्टेड बैक, और ये जो प्लेन मिरर है ये इमेज 40 सेंटीमीटर इन फ्रंट बनाना चाहेगा, समवेयर कहीं यहाँ बनाना चाहेगा। लेट कॉल इट आई डैश। नाउ अगेन ड्यू टू रिफ्रैक्शन द फाइनल रे, द फाइनल इमेज विल बी समवेयर हेयर। सो दिस इज द रे डायग्राम फॉर द क्वेश्चन। नाउ सिंस प्लेन मिरर 40 सेंटीमीटर आगे इमेज बनाना चाह रहा था, तो 20 सेंटीमीटर ऑलरेडी ट्रेवल हो चुका है। सो दिस रिमेनिंग डिस्टेंस इज 20 सेंटीमीटर। नाउ वी हैव टू फाइंड द पोजिशन ऑफ फाइनल इमेज। ओके, सो फॉर दिस आई एम अप्लाइंग द लेंस फॉर्मूला। सो 1/f is equal to 1/v minus 1/u. So focal length is given as 30. So 1/30 is equal to 1/v minus 1/u. So for this lens, this I dash will behave like object, और object distance 20 centimeter है और in the direction of incident ray है. So this is plus 20 centimeter. So on solving this, we'll get Vs plus 12 centimeter. Vs plus 12 centimeter. Okay. So V is plus 12 centimeter from the lens. So this distance is 12 centimeter. Now we have to answer it from the plane mirror. So from the plane mirror, the image will be at 32 centimeter. So final image, this implies final image will be at 32 centimeter from plane mirror. और क्योंकि एक्चुअल में इंटरसेक्शन हो रहा है, so this image is real. So this is real image. Now let's see the answer. So option C is there, real and at a distance of 32 centimeter from the mirror. Yes, C is the correct answer. So based on lens formula, now let's move on to the next question. Two beam of light having intensities I and 4I interfere to produce a fringe pattern on a screen. The phase difference between the beam is pi by 2 at point A and pi at point B. Then the difference between resultant intensities, this is the point, resultant intensities at A and B. Okay. So for interference, we know that resultant intensity IR is given by I1 plus I2 plus 2 root I1 I2 cos phi. Now for point A, the phase difference is pi by 2 and I1 I2 are given. So for point A, resultant intensity will be for phi is equal to pi by 2, this term will be 0. So it comes out to be 5i. Similarly, resultant intensity at B, on putting the value of phi as pi and putting the values of intensity, will get this as I. So difference in intensity is IA minus IB. So it is 5i minus I, that's come out to be 4i. So this is the difference in intensity between point A and B. So option B should be correct. Let's see the answer. Okay, option B is correct. Now let's move on to the next question. The least count of a Savrage is 1 by 50 mm. The pitch of the screw is 1 mm. What is the maximum percentage error of the instrument? So we all know that the percentage error in a measurement, a measured value, is given by delta A by A into 100. So error, least count is given. So error in Savrage is 1 by 50 and main rating में जो error है वो 1 mm का है. So it is 1 by 50 divided by 1 into 100, or on solving this we'll get 2% as the error, percentage error. So correct answer should be 2. Now let's check the answer. Yeah, it's 2. Now let's move on to the next question. Okay, this section contains question stems. Now let's move on to the question. An object AB of height 1 centimeter lying on the axis of a convex mirror of focal length 20 centimeter. So focal length is given 20 centimeter, all right, at a distance 30 centimeter from its pole. So object distance is 30 centimeter. Now the object starts moving with constant speed 1 centimeter per second. Okay, ये जो object है 1 centimeter per second की speed से move करेगा parallel to the principal axis. Now what is asking for? Calculate magnitude of velocity of image along the principal axis. Along the principal axis. Okay. All right. So first of all, I am calculating the transverse magnification for this mirror. So transverse magnification is given by f upon में f minus u. So we have the value of focal length. So focal length is 20 centimeter and this is convex mirror, so plus 20 centimeter. 20 minus the value of u is 30 and it is with sign convention minus 30. So on solving this, m perpendicular comes out to be 2 by 5. Nice. Now we have to calculate the velocity of image along principal axis. So velocity of image along principal axis, velocity of image along principal axis with respect to mirror is equal to minus m perpendicular square velocity of object with respect to mirror. Now mirror is at rest, so these velocities are with respect to ground itself. So velocity of image is equal to minus m perpendicular is 2 by 5. So 2 by 5 ka square, and velocity of object with respect to mirror is given as 1 centimeter per second. So multiplied by 1 centimeter per second. So on solving this, it comes out to be minus 0.16 centimeter per second. So now let's see the answer. Yes, 0.16 centimeter per second. So there is another part in this question. Calculate the rate of change of height of the image. Rate of change of height of the image. So height is related with transverse magnification, and height of image is magnification, transverse magnification times height of object. So f upon में f minus u and h naught, this is height of image. Now rate of change of height. So for rate of change of height, we should differentiate this. So differentiating with respect to time, on differentiating with respect to time, dhi by dt, that will comes out to be f ho du by dt divided by f minus u का होल स्क्वायर. आप इसको डिफरेंशिएट करेंगे टाइम के रिस्पेक्ट में तो ये एक्सप्रेशन हमारे पास आएगा. नाउ ऑल द वैल्यूज आर गिवन. फोकल लेंथ इज गिवन, हाइट इज गिवन, du by dt is 1 centimeter per second, focal length you all are given. On putting this value, this comes out to be 0.008 centimeter per second. So yes, 0.008 centimeter per second. Now let's move on to the next question. Photoelectron are ejected from surface when light of wavelength lambda 1 this is incident on it. The stopping potential for such electrons is this. Suppose that radiation of wavelength this much is incident. Calculate the stopping potential for the second ray. Okay. So this question is based on photoelectric equation. So for the first case, we can write hc by lambda 1 minus phi is equal to E Vs1. So hc by lambda 1, so we can put the value of hc. So divided by lambda 1 is 550. So we changed it to Ev minus phi is equal to E times of Vs1 is given, which is 0.19. So on solving this, phi will come out 2.07 eV. So this is the work function, and work function is independent of the incident light. So work function remains the same for the second case. Second case is when the radiation of wavelength lambda 2 equal to this incident. So hc by lambda 2 minus phi is equal to EVS2. EVS2. Now again putting the value of hc, lambda 2 is 190 minus phi, we already calculated it, 2.07 is equal to EVS2. So from here we can calculate the value of stopping potential Vs2, which comes out to be 4.47 volt. So in this part we have to calculate the stopping potential. So stopping potential is 4.47 volt. 4.47 volt. Now in the second part of this question, calculate the work function. We already calculated it in the first part, and phi 2.07 EV जो कि हमारा आया था, हाँ ये 2.07 EV. So 2.07. Now let's move on to the next question. A beam of alpha particle is incident on a target lead. A particular alpha particle comes in head-on to a particular lead nucleus and stops at this. So this is the closest distance away from the center of the nucleus. Okay. So assume that the lead nucleus, which has 82 protons, remains at rest, and the mass of alpha particle is given, and the question is asking for calculate the electrostatic potential energy. Electrostatic potential energy in MeV at the instant when the alpha particle stops. All right. So in the given condition, alpha particle are bombarded towards lead nucleus. So alpha particle, let us suppose initial velocity is u, and they are bombarded towards lead nucleus. Lead nucleus. Now, so the closest distance is given to us. At the time of closest distance, the velocity of alpha particle becomes 0 and nucleus remains at rest. ऐसा लिखा हुआ है, न्यूक्लियस रिमेन्स एट रेस्ट. So velocity of alpha particle becomes 0 and this closest distance is given to us. Now it is asking for electrostatic potential energy at the instant when the alpha particle stops. So quite easy question. Electrostatic potential energy, we can write it as K Q1 Q2 by R. So 9 into 10 raised to the power 9. Now Q1 is alpha particle, so 2 times of protonic charge, and nucleus contains 82 protons, so 82E divided by distance, so closest distance is given as 6.5 into 10 raised to the power minus 14. So on solving this, 3.63 MeV it comes out. So electrostatic potential energy will be 3.63 MeV. Now let's see the answer, 3.63 MeV. Now there is another part in the question, initial speed of the alpha particle. So for initial speed we can apply conservation of energy. So initially alpha particle has kinetic energy half m, let's say v square, and initial potential energy is 0, is equal to, at the time of closest separation the kinetic energy becomes 0 and the potential energy is k q1 q2 by r, k q1 q2 by r. We calculated it. Now on putting the value here we can get V. So V is equal to 2k q1 q2 by mr root, on putting all this value it comes out to be 1.32 into 10 raised to the power 7 meter per second. So we have to find the value of n. So this n should be 1.32. Now let's see the answer. Yes, it is 1.32. Now let's move on to the next question. Okay, this section contains 6 multiple choice questions, one or more than one correct. All right. Now let's move on to the question. Two resistances R1 this and R2 this are to be joined together. The maximum resistance obtainable. Okay, maximum resistance obtainable हमसे पूछा जा रहा है and minimum resistance obtainable हमसे पूछा जा रहा है. So for maximum resistance, these two resistance should be connected in series. So for series combination, R equivalent is equal to R1 plus R2. So from here, it comes out to be 9.0 ohm. Now for series combination, we are solving it for series combination. So error should also be added. So error in series combination will be 0.1 plus 0.2, it is 0.3 ohm. So maximum obtainable resistance with error will be 9.0 plus minus 0.3 ohm. So maximum obtainable error is 9 plus minus 0.3 ohm. So option A should be correct. Now for minimum resistance, we should join them in parallel. So for parallel combination, R equivalent is equal to R1 R2 upon में R1 plus R2. So on putting these values, this comes out to be 2.0 ohm. Now for error, 1 by R equivalent is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So differentiate this. So D upon में D R equivalent upon में R equivalent square is equal to minus D R1 upon में R1 square minus D R2 upon में R2 square. So these minus will be taken out. So this can be written as delta R equivalent upon में R equivalent square is equal to delta R1 upon में R1 square plus delta R2 upon में R2 square. So delta R equivalent can be written as R equivalent square delta R1 upon में R1 square plus delta R2 upon में R2 square. Now putting all these values and rounding it to one decimal place, it comes out to be 0.1 ohm. Now, so minimum obtainable resistance with error limit will be, minimum resistance will be 2.0 plus minus 0.1 ohm. Now let's check the answer. Let's check the option. So 2.0 plus minus 0.3 is the incorrect. 2.0 plus minus 0.2 is also correct, also incorrect. So only one option correct. So only A should be the answer here. Only A should be the answer. Yes, only one option is correct. Now let's move on to the next question. A motor car is fitted with convex mirror of focal length 20 centimeter. A second car 21 meter broad and 1.05 meter high is 4 meter behind the first car. All right. The breadth and the height of the image of the second car as seen in the mirror, yani with respect to mirror of the first car, are x and y respectively. If the second car is overtaking at a relative speed of 21 meter per second, the speed of image v is, then okay. So we have to choose the correct options. So in the given situation, एक convex mirror है जो कि एक कार पर माउंटेड है, और एक और कार है जो कि 4 मीटर बिहाइंड द फर्स्ट कार है. यहाँ पर एक और कार है और इस सेकंड कार का अपने को डायमेंशन गिवन है, तो इसकी जो हाइट है उसको y डैश ले लेते हैं. y डैश इज़ 1.05 मीटर और इसकी जो विड्थ है उसको w ले लेते हैं. नाउ फोकल लेंथ ऑफ द मिरर इज आल्सो गिवन. फोकल लेंथ ऑफ द मिरर इज 20 centimeter and we have to calculate the velocity of the image. Okay, so for this, first of all I am calculating the transverse magnification. So transverse magnification is f upon f minus u. So on putting these values with convention, sign convention, so 20 upon 20 minus this distance is 400 in centimeter, 400. So it's come out to be 1 by 21. So transverse magnification is coming as 1 by 21. Now, the question is asking for the speed of the image. So speed of the image, so velocity of image with respect to mirror is equal to minus of m perpendicular square velocity of object with respect to mirror. Now m perpendicular भी हमने calculate किया, putting here, so 1 by 21 का square multiplied by velocity of object with respect to mirror. So velocity of object with respect to mirror is given relative speed here 21. So putting 21 here, so we get it as minus of 1 by 21 meter per second. So this is the velocity of image. So 1 by 21 meter per second. So 1 by 21 meter per second is the velocity of image. Now for the value of width and height of the image, we use the magnification formula. So the height of the image y is m perpendicular times height of the object, and height of the object is y dash. So m perpendicular is 1 by 21 multiplied by y dash, and y dash is given 1.05. So on solving this 1.05 meter, on solving this it comes out to be 5 centimeter. So height of the image is 5 centimeter and the speed of the image is 1 by 20. So height of the image y is 5 centimeter. So B and C should be the correct answers. Let's check the answer. Yes, B and C are the correct answers. Now let's move on to the next question. A thin rod AB of length 16 centimeter is placed along the axis of a concave mirror of focal length 48 centimeter. Okay, एक थिन रॉड को प्रिंसिपल एक्सिस पे रखा गया है कॉन्केव मिरर की जिसका फोकल लेंथ 48 सेंटीमीटर है, such that its image A dash B dash which is real and elongated just touches the rod. Okay, तो मैग्नीफाइड इमेज मिल रही है, इसका मतलब जो रॉड है वो 2F के अंदर रखी गई होगी. ठीक है, और जो इमेज का एक एंड है वो रॉड के साथ कॉन्साइड कर रहा है, यानी रॉड का एक एंड मस्ट बी ऑन 2F होना चाहिए. द मैग्निफिकेशन प्रोड्यूसेस इज M, then choose the correct option. So we have a concave mirror और इस कॉन्केव मिरर से कुछ दूरी पर हमने एक रॉड रखी है एंड द लेंथ ऑफ दिस रॉड इज़ गिवन टू अस. सो सपोज दिस इज़ द रॉड और ये रॉड को हम बोल देते हैं ए बी है एंड इट्स लेंथ इज़ गिवन टू अस. इट्स लेंथ इज़ 16 centimeter. 16 centimeter. Now focal length of the concave mirror is also given. Focal length of the concave mirror is 48 centimeter. And one end is touching the image और मैग्नीफाइड इमेज है तो इसका मतलब 2f के अंदर ये रॉड रखी गई है तो इमेज का एक एंड a के साथ कॉन्साइड करेगा. लेट दिस एंड बी a डैश और इस एंड को हम बोल देते हैं b डैश. सो a b इज़ द ऑब्जेक्ट एंड a डैश b डैश इज़ द इमेज. नाउ सिंस ये मार्क 2f का होना चाहिए तो दैट मीन्स ये जो डिस्टेंस है दिस शुड बी 96 सेंटीमीटर. ये 96 सेंटीमीटर होना चाहिए. ऑल्सो दिस इज 16 गिवन सो b का जो डिस्टेंस है पोल से दिस शुड बी 80 सेंटीमीटर. ये 80 सेंटीमीटर होना चाहिए. नाउ वी हैव टू कैलकुलेट द लेंथ ऑफ द इमेज. ओके, for this I am calculating the coordinate of b dash. So applying the mirror formula here, so 1 by f is equal to 1 by v plus 1 by u. So 1 by f is 1 by minus 48, 1 by v, we are solving it for point b, plus 1 by u. The distance of b from the pole is 80 centimeter. With sign convention it is minus 80. So on solving this, VB will come out minus of 120 centimeter. So minus of 120 centimeter. That means this B dash is 120 centimeter distance from the pole. Now we can calculate this length now. This is 120 centimeter. This is 96. So this length should be 24 centimeter. So A dash B dash is 24 centimeter. Now we also have to calculate the magnification. So magnification is size of image divided by size of object. So image length is 24 and object length is 16. So it comes out to be 3 by 2. So magnification is 3 by 2 and length is 24 centimeter. A dash B dash. So A dash B dash is 24 centimeter. And magnification is 3 by 2. So option BD should be the correct. So let's see the answer. Yes, option B and D are correct. Now let's move on to the next question. In Young's double slit experiment, the upper slit is covered with a thin glass sheet of thickness T and refractive index mu, while the lower slit is covered with another glass plate of the same thickness T but having a refractive index mu2 and mu2 is greater than mu1. Interference pattern is observed using light of wavelength lambda. It observed that point P on the screen where the central maxima fell before the plates were introduced now has 3/4 the original intensity. The phase difference between the interfering wave at the point P. All right. तो सिचुएशन कुछ ऐसी है कि प्लेट को इंट्रोड्यूस करने से पहले जो हमें इंटेंसिटी मिल रही थी जिस पॉइंट पर मैक्सिमा है, सेंट्रल मैक्सिमा वाले पॉइंट पर, अब वहाँ जो इंटेंसिटी है वो 3/4 टाइम हो चुकी है. सो रिजल्टेंट इंटेंसिटी का जो फॉर्मूला है हमारे पास IR इज इक्वल टू आई मैक्स इंटू कॉस स्क्वायर 5/2 होता है. सो अभी जो इंटेंसिटी मिल रही है वो मैक्सिमम की 3/4 मिल रही है. सो 3/4 of I max is equal to I max cos square 5/2. So this I max will cancel out. So cos 5/2 is equal to plus minus root 3/2. So the value of phi for this will be pi/3 and 5pi/3. So these value of phi's are pi/3 and 5pi/3. So pi/3 and 5pi/3 should be the answer. Now let's, yes, pi/3 and 5pi/3 is the answer. Now let's move on to the next question. When a point light source of power W emitting monochromatic light of wavelength lambda is kept at a distance a from a photosensitive surface of work function phi and area S, we have to choose the options. All right. So we have a point source whose power is given to us, a point source whose power W is given to us. Now, we know that intensity due to point source at a distance is given by power of the source divided by 4 pi a square. Spherical wave front emit karega. So at a distance a, there is a surface S given to us. So this is intensity. So energy falling per second, energy falling per second on the surface will be W upon my 4 pi a square into S. So photons per second, per second. This is the total energy falling per second. तो एक फोटोन की एनर्जी से डिवाइड कर लेते हैं, तो इट विल बी फोटोन्स फॉलिंग पर सेकेंड. सो W इंटू एस 4 पाई a square hc by lambda. So these are the photons falling per second. So let's see number of photons striking the surface per unit time, photons per second. So photons per second, option A is the correct one. Now maximum energy of the emitted photoelectrons, maximum kinetic energy. So for this we apply photoelectric equation. So we can write Ke max is equal to hc by lambda minus phi. So 1 by lambda can be taken as common. So hc minus phi lambda. So this is the maximum kinetic energy, maximum energy. So 1 by lambda hc minus lambda phi. So option B is also correct. The stopping potential needed to stop the most energetic emitted photoelectron is this. So we know that kinetic energy, maximum kinetic energy is equal to E times of stopping potential. So divided by E. So this is not matching. So this is incorrect. Photo emission occur only if lambda lies in the range this. Of course, हमारा जो wavelength है वो threshold wavelength से कम होना चाहिए. So this option is also correct. Now let's see the answer. Yes, A, B and D are correct answers. Now let's move on to the next question. The decay rate of a radioactive element is found to be 6400 disintegration per second. If the half-life of the element is 2 seconds, half-life tau is given as 2 seconds, then choose the correct option. All right. So first of all, disintegration per second की बात हो रही है, मतलब activity की बात हो रही है. So activity can be written as R0 1 by 2 की power n. So where n is number of half-lives, So R is equal to R0. Initial activity is 6400. 1 by 2 raised to the power n, where n is number of half-lives. Now we can see the number of half-lives in the each case. For 8 seconds, number of half-lives are 4. For 6 seconds, number of half-lives are 3. For 4 seconds, number of half-lives are 2. For 2 seconds, number of half-life is 1. So on putting the value of n here, we can see after 8 seconds, the decay rate should be 400 होना चाहिए था. So this is the incorrect option. And we can similarly check for other values too. For n3 it comes out to be 800. This is correct. For n is equal to 2, 1600, correct. For n is equal to 1, half हो जाएगा. This is correct. So option B, C and D should be the correct ones. So let's see the answer. Yes, B, C, D are the correct options. Now let's move on to the next question. All right, this section contains 3 integer based questions. 3 integer based questions ranging 0 to 99. So let's move on to the question. A parallel beam of light traveling in water is refracted by a spherical air bubble of radius 2 mm situated in water. The image is formed due to refraction at the opposite surface of the bubble. Find the distance in mm of the image from the center of the bubble. All right. So we have an air bubble we have an air bubble formed inside water. So outside the refractive index is 4/3, and this is air bubble, its refractive index is 1. So here also refractive index is 4/3. Now we are incidenting parallel light, parallel rays. So parallel rays are falling on this bubble. So first refraction यहाँ पर होगा, तो ये कर्ड सरफेस है, लेट इट्स पोल इज P, और इस कर्ड सरफेस के लिए पोल मार्क कर लेते हैं P डैश। तो फर्स्ट रिफ्रैक्शन पर बेंडिंग होगी और सेकंड रिफ्रैक्शन पर फिर से बेंडिंग होगी कुछ ऐसे। तो फर्स्ट रिफ्रैक्शन के बाद जो इमेज है वो कुछ यहाँ बनती, और सेकंड रिफ्रैक्शन के बाद जो इमेज है वो कुछ यहाँ बनेगी। ऑलराइट, सो लेट C be the center of the bubble and R be its radius. So its diameter is 2r. Its diameter is 2r. Now apply the formula for refraction through curved surface. So from point P first, so mu2 by V minus mu1 by U is equal to mu2 minus mu1 by R. So incident ray are in 4/3. So 4/3, and they are parallel. So so object is at infinity, and mu2 is 1, and V, let's say V1 is equal to 1 minus 4/3 divided by R, and R is plus R. So on solving this, we get V1 is minus 3R. तो यहाँ से V1 का वैल्यू minus 3R हमारे पास आएगा। नाउ जो पहली इमेज बन रही है वो P से 3R डिस्टेंस पीछे बन रही है, P से 3R डिस्टेंस पीछे बन रही है। नाउ अब सेकंड रिफ्रैक्शन सेकंड वाले सरफेस से होगा, और उसके लिए जो पहली इमेज बनी है वो ऑब्जेक्ट की तरह सर्व करेगी। सो लेट दिस पॉइंट बी I1 एंड दिस पॉइंट बी I2। सो हमें फाइनल इमेज I2 की लोकेशन बतानी है, तो I1 जो है वो ऑब्जेक्ट की तरह सर्व करेगा, तो P डैश से इसका जो डिस्टेंस है इफेक्टिव, दैट विल बी 5R। सो फॉर सेकेंड रिफ्रैक्शन, दिस इज फॉर फर्स्ट रिफ्रैक्शन, ये फर्स्ट रिफ्रैक्शन के लिए था, अब हम सेकेंड रिफ्रैक्शन के लिए अप्लाई कर रहे हैं। सो फॉर सेकेंड रिफ्रैक्शन अगेन जो इंसिडेंट रे हैं वो म्यू इज इक्वल टू 1 में है। सो 4/3 डिवाइड बाई V2 माइनस इंसिडेंट रे 1 डिवाइडेड बाई U। ऑब्जेक्ट कौन सर्व कर रहा है? I1। तो P डैश से इसका जो डिस्टेंस है इट इज माइनस ऑफ 5R इज इक्वल टू 4/3 माइनस 1 डिवाइडेड बाई द रेडियस विथ कन्वेंशन इट इज माइनस R, इट इज माइनस R। तो इसको सॉल्व कर लेते हैं, तो यहाँ से हमारे पास जो V2 का वैल्यू आएगा वो आएगा माइनस 5R/2। सो दिस डिस्टेंस इज फ्रॉम P डैश, ये जो डिस्टेंस है ये P डैश से है, तो माइनस 5R/2, तो नेगेटिव साइन मीन्स मुझे पीछे आना पड़ेगा। तो मुझे आंसर करना है C से कि I2 का जो लोकेशन है वो C से क्या होगा, सेंटर से क्या होगा। तो फॉर दिस इंप्लाइज डिस्टेंस ऑफ इमेज फ्रॉम C विल बी 3R/2। सो 3/2 ऑफ रेडियस, सो रेडियस का वैल्यू क्वेश्चन में गिवन है 2 mm। सो 2 mm यहाँ पुट कर देते हैं, सो इट कम्स आउट टू बी 3 mm। तो जो फाइनल इमेज I2 है इट विल बी 3 mm डिस्टेंस फ्रॉम द सेंटर। सो फाइंड द डिस्टेंस ऑफ द इमेज फ्रॉम द सेंटर। ओके, इट इज 3 mm। लेट्स सी, yes, the answer given is 3 mm. Now let's move on to the next question. A coherent parallel beam of microwave of wavelength 0.5 mm falls normally on Young's double slit apparatus. The separation between the slit is 1 mm and the screen is placed at a distance 1 meter from the slit. Find the number of minima in the interference pattern observed on the screen. Okay, so first of all यहाँ पर हम order of maxima निकाल लेते हैं। तो order of maxima, so delta x is equal to d sin theta, path difference, so n lambda is equal to d sin theta, तो n हमको फाइंड करना है, तो d बाई लैम्डा इंटू साइन थीटा। सो ऑर्डर ऑफ मैक्सिमा के लिए अगर इसको मैक्सिमाइज में करना चाहूँ n को, तो n का मैक्सिमम वैल्यू तब होगा जब साइन थीटा 1 होगा, यानी d बाई लैम्डा। सो वैल्यू पुट करते हैं, d का वैल्यू अपने को दिया हुआ है, दिस इज 1 mm और वेवलेंथ अपने को गिवन है 0.5। सो n मैक्स जो मेरे पास निकल के आएगा ये 2 निकल के आएगा। तो स्क्रीन पर सेंट्रल मैक्सिमा के ऊपर, सेंट्रल लाइन के ऊपर 2 मैक्सिमा मिलेंगे अपने को। सो एक मैक्सिमा यहाँ और एक मैक्सिमा यहाँ। उसी तरीके से सेंट्रल लाइन से नीचे भी 2 मैक्सिमा मिलेंगे, एक मैक्सिमा यहाँ मार्क कर देते हैं, एक मैक्सिमा यहाँ मार्क कर देते हैं। नाउ वी नो दैट बिटवीन 2 कंसेक्यूटिव मैक्सिमा देयर विल बी अ मिनिमा। सो एक मिनिमा यहाँ होगा और एक मिनिमा यहाँ होगा, उसी तरीके से एक मिनिमा इधर और एक मिनिमा यहाँ होगा। सो टोटल नंबर ऑफ मिनिमा विल बी 4। सो दिस इंप्लाइज टोटल number of minima will be equal to 4. So find the number of minima हमको find करना था. Let's see the answer. Yes, number of minima are 4. Now let's move on to the next question. Hydrogen atom in its ground state is excited by means of monochromatic radiation of wavelength 975 angstrom. How many different lines are possible in the resulting spectrum? The ionization energy of hydrogen atom is 13.6 eV. All right. तो हाइड्रोजन एटम अपनी ग्राउंड स्टेट में है और इसके ऊपर हमने एक रेडिएशन फॉल कराया जिसका वेवलेंथ अपने को गिवन है और वेवलेंथ अपने को गिवन है 975 एंगस्ट्रॉम। तो इसको एब्जॉर्व करने के बाद कितनी स्पेक्ट्रिकल लाइन हमको मिलेंगी ये निकालना है। सो फॉर दिस फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल रेडिएशन की एनर्जी हम लोग कैलकुलेट कर लेते हैं। तो एनर्जी ऑफ रेडिएशन इज hc बाई लैम्डा। सो डिवाइड बाई लैम्डा इज गिवन 975। सो ये हमारा EV में एनर्जी आ जाएगा और ये वैल्यू निकल के आएगा 12.75 EV। तो इतना एनर्जी का रेडिएशन हमने फॉल करवाया है। इसको एब्जॉर्व करने के बाद अभी हाइड्रोजन एटम ग्राउंड स्टेट में है, ये एक्साइटेड स्टेट में जाएगा। तो एनर्जी डिफरेंस से हम बता सकते हैं कि इतनी एनर्जी एब्जॉर्व करने के बाद यानी E इज इक्वल टू 12.75 EV एब्जॉर्व करने के बाद ये N इज इक्वल टू 4 स्टेट में जाएगा। सो N इज इक्वल टू 4 से कितनी स्पेक्ट्रिकल लाइन पॉसिबल है? सो फॉर नंबर ऑफ स्पेक्ट्रिकल लाइन्स, number of spectral lines n into n minus 1 by 2. So it comes out to be 4 minus 1 by 2. It comes out to be 6 number of spectral lines. Now let's see the answer. The number of spectral lines are 6. So that's it from the physics part. Thank you very much. All the best. Keep doing the hard work.